The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink!
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our spooky humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this NFL Week 8 kickoff Thursday, October 24th, 2024. This program starts now. Football is awesome, and Week 8 of the NFL season kicks off this evening, although college ball has already started both last night, shout out to Jacksonville State, and the night before that, shout out to the team that won on Tuesday night.
Yep.
Very proud of them.
Well
Huge
said.
win.
Football is phenomenal. The weather is fantastic. The storylines are in abundance, and today's program should be one that when you're done watching it, you go, it wasn't that terrible. It's not just me, obviously. The Toxic Table's here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Ty Schmidt, big day.
It is a big day.
Big units on the show, brother.
I know. Love it. It's
World
unbelievable.
Series starts tomorrow night.
Yep.
Randy Johnson will be joining us today, obviously one of the most legendary pitchers of all time. A friend of the program.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's a phenomenal photographer. He's also a guy who loves baseball.
Yeah.
So we're getting him at the right time, it feels like. What are you excited to hear from Randy Johnson about this World Series that throws the first ball tomorrow night?
Just kind of his mentality. The last time, Randy Johnson beat the Yankees in the World Series, and baseball was much different when he was playing against the Yankees. But just, they just don't make them like guys like this anymore. Obviously, we have a lot of good players. We've talked about Ohtani and Judge and Soto and some of these other guys. But it's crazy that there aren't guys like this anymore. Basically, if he was getting the ball and he was going out there, like Randy Johnson was giving you 7+ innings, he was going to strike out a bunch of guys, and you were probably going to win the game. And they just don't make them like that anymore.
We're very appreciative that Randy Johnson will stop by, especially, Dodgers, Yankees, pretty historic.
Massive.
Huge.
This is a big deal. West Coast, East Coast.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
Who's better at baseball?
Oh, boy.
We'll find out whenever a bunch of guys who aren't from either of those cities compete.
Correct.
In the crown-chasing October baseball. Now, when does it end, though? November?
I guess, if it goes 7 games, it'll slip into November. I think it'll slip into November regardless. But yeah, technically ends in November.
How's the weather in New York right now, Bruce Brown? Is it chilly? Is it warm? It's been warm everywhere, and obviously it starts in L.A., but when it goes to New York, are we going to have cold bats?
I believe it's been nice here for the most part. So I don't know if we will have chilly bats, but probably at night, get down there a little bit, 50s maybe.
It's been getting chilly here at night.
Oh, yeah.
During the day, though, like 60, 70. It's been pretty perfect right now.
It has been.
This is what fall, it's kind of like a spring-fall mix here.
Yep,
exactly.
What's taking place. And if this is what the new normal is here, listen, figure it out. Obviously, we don't like that everything's happening.
Sure.
I have an electric vehicle. Have had electric vehicles.
Well.
I'm running a diesel now, but I have in the past had electric vehicles, and I certainly don't have any cows that are farting or whatever the case is, but this weather has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
With the leaves changed.
Beautiful.
Halloween around the corner. We heard a lot of your thoughts about that on yesterday's show.
Sure.
But yeah, it is a wonderful time. Randy Johnson will join us. Michael Lombardi will join us in about 17 minutes or so. There's a lot happening around the NFL. Let's go to one half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, AP Tone. Tonight, Vikings, Rams, kick off Week 8 of the NFL season. The Vikings are favored by 3 right now. And I think from our earlier conversations, people are very fascinated by that number. Now, there's been a lot of public bets this year. A lot of public bets. 70% bets, 80% bets, 65% bets. Normally, these sports books are trying to keep that thing 55, 45, 57. Anytime there's a massive, heavy public favorite and everybody's on it, usually that's a guaranteed loss. This year, that's not the case.
No.
This year, the last few weeks, all the heavy bet teams actually show up for all of us. So at the beginning of the season, we thought sports books were just going to cut us off at the knees this year. They were throwing their best shit.
Yeah, they were.
Big time.
They were right on the money, seemingly. They were getting all of our money. Then over the last few weeks, it's like the team who we like the most ends up covering for all of us, we're celebrating, baby. Is there any of those types of tells this evening? And how do we feel about the lines right now?
Yeah, big time. What was it? Through the first 4 weeks, I think it was the worst the public has ever done. And then the last 3 weeks has been like over 60% of the public bets has been 7-2, 9-0, 7-2. I believe the last 3 weeks.
Okay, so we're back.
Yeah, so going into this week, I bet you guys could probably guess where a lot of the money is when you're sitting Vikings, who are 5-1, -3 versus the Rams. It's 80% on the Vikings, which is
so many.
Wow.
That is so many bets.
I'm not shocked. I mean,
but how come the sports books haven't moved? This has been like 80% of the bets, and then they lose multiple weeks in a row. Why are they not budget? Do they have a glitch?
They could.
Sports books have a glitch in their algo right now, or are they just waiting to get back on all of us?
I think they just have their line, and they have the line that they believe, and public perception is always very, very different than what the sports books believe. So I think they're going to go with what they trust. And if the public is where they are, then that's where they are. And if like at the beginning of the season, when they win, they're going to win big. And if they get crushed on some week, I think they're going to be okay still.
And at the beginning of the season and in years past, we've said 80% of the public's on it. That means it's definitely going the other way. They don't have chandeliers for nothing.
That's right.
Those chandeliers are expensive. You see all those diamonds in the sky in every single casino that you walk into? You see all those LED boards at sports books that are getting updated literally weekly? Those are millions. Millions of dollars. You know why they're able to do that? Because they are just raking in cash. Because when 80% of the people bet on something, that means 20% of the money is the only ones that have to go out, and 80% of the money is coming back to the house. Not this year. Not these last few weeks. It has been nice to be a doofus and say, I like this team. They are definitely bet, and then win on them. That's good news. Shout to us. Shout to Ram Trucks, by the way. No better time than right now. Speaking of Ram trucking something. We've been doing that to the sports books over the last few weeks. The public has been Ram trucking the shit out of the sports books. So now we are looking to take this Ram truck partnership into a world that we love the most, which is a giveaway. So what we are proposing, and I think Ram Trucks has agreed with this. We assume they are in because Ram Trucks has been in on everything. Not only is a Ram truck powerful, it's also obviously incredible, agile and durable and able to tow, able to move. Their tagline is actually all the power you need, the luxury you want, and the capability you deserve. My 2500 heavy-duty Rebel Ram, okay, run on diesel.
Yeah.
And whenever you hit the gas pedal, it sounds like a ram. Then you hit the gas pedal again. It's the best truck I've ever been in. So I would like to give it away.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the best truck I've ever been in. I think we should give it away. Who should we give it away to? Well, we try kind of put our heads together. Can't be an NFL player, obviously, because NFL players have too much money.
Sure.
Now, these college kids are getting paid, but it would be sweet if something that happened on a college football field did earn somebody a Ram, still Dodge, separate entity because of how great the trucks are. A Ram 2500 heavy-duty truck. So we are proposing the hashtag Ram Truck contest. If you see a college football game, and it could be high school. No, we can't give the high school. I can't give a truck to underage. Never mind. If you see a college football play where you see somebody get Ram Truck, what does that mean? Well, they could get run over. Okay, offensive lineman could maybe pancake.
Sure. Hell yeah.
Okay, maybe it's a tackle, obviously. Any other thing that makes you think, you know, that reminds me of what a Ram truck would do. Man, it had good power. Man, it did it the right way. Now, if it's a penalty, and the penalty is upheld, it will not be eligible.
Sure.
And we don't want you to rip the clip and post it on X whenever you use the hashtag Ram Truck. We just want you to tell us the player's name, the time it happened, and why you believe that particular player should be the one that wins the 2500 heavy-duty Rebel Ram at the end of the season. The way this will go is we will pick 4 Ram Truck highlights each week. Whoever's voted the number 1 Ram Truck highlight will be the carryover Ram Truck highlight into the next week. Then the number 1 from that week will take on the reigning, defending, undisputed Ram Truck champion. And then whoever wins at the end of the season, whoever is the champion at the end of the year, that'll win the 2500 heavy-duty Rebel Ram.
Hell yeah. Love it.
So whenever we're watching these games on Saturday and Tuesday nights, there was one. Okay, last night, but that's not going to be eligible because that is targeting. We do not want targeting shots.
Hell hit though.
This is that's going to be that's can't do that.
Much.
Can't do that. Has to be no flags. The flags have to if it is a penalty play, it will not count. But if it does, actually fit into play, we'll run it, we'll show it, and it'll potentially be a winner of a Ram truck. I'm excited. Thank you, Ram.
Yeah, thank you, Ram.
That will be awesome.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
That smoke coming off them tires?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's so much power. You can also put this thing in four-wheel drive high or four-wheel drive low, depending upon what you do. Seems like the driver of said truck right here that is Ram trucking through town decided to go with the two-wheel drive in the back. And I'll tell you what, you can really make some moves. Off, green light hitting, if you got a little whippersnapper next to you, they're thinking to themselves, I got a couple ponies under the hood here. I might have a little bit of a get-off here. Maybe you got a little electric vehicle. That's sweet. Wait till you hear the ram, 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 ram. And then it goes. Yeah, so that is a little smoke on the tires in the back. And if anybody's stuck, you know what a Ram truck can do?
What's that?
Can get you the fuck out.
Yeah, they can.
That's what Ram trucks do.
Amen.
Don't get Ram trucked. But if you're Ram trucking somebody, you could potentially win a Ram truck. All right, let's get back to tonight's game. 80% of the money is currently on the Vikings -3 taking on the Rams. So we could Ram truck the sports books tonight.
I think there's 2.5s out there, too.
Wow.
Which is keeping them crazier.
Okay, so that many bets are going, and it's going the other way. Okay, so we can Ram truck the sports books tonight. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who coached football for 36 years, 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, incredibly paisano-looking fella.
Yeah.
Because he is an incredible paisan fella. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Pagano.
Yeah, Coach. Morning.
Coach, you're 6-1 now against the spread on Thursday Night Football. The dominance continues from the Chuck Pagano brain. Incredibly proud of you, obviously. All right, we're starting to really feel ourselves.
Salute.
I love the salute. I love the stare down. I love the velour. I love everything that you're got going right now. Tonight it seems too obvious. I don't know if that's normally how you lean or if you are kind of swayed by public perception. Tonight looks very obvious. Is that how you're seeing the game, or what are your thoughts on how this one goes tonight?
No question about it.
Okay.
KOC returns home. I don't know if anybody remembers, he did win a Super Bowl with Sean McVay. He was the offensive coordinator for the Rams back in the day. 5-1 team. 2-4 Rams. Tone mentioned that. They've got some injuries. They've got 16 guys on their 53-man roster that are rookies. So they basically are doing a reset. There's rumors about this guy, that guy getting traded, whatever, right? It seems too good to be true, to be honest with you.
They say you kick the can down the road, and inevitably the can is going to end up having no more roads to kick on.
Yeah,
that's right.
In this Matthew Stafford era, and Aaron Donald obviously just retired last year, they won a Super Bowl with this in their home city, in their home stadium, in a new city, new stadium with another team that is also in there. So business-wise, great move to do it. But now they have to find the next iteration. There is chitter-chatter about Cooper Kupp. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on that later, being traded. Everything he's doing seemingly right, and he's a dog on the football field when he's healthy. Matthew Stafford, there was chatter in the offseason about maybe after Aaron Donald retires, do they do the reset beforehand, move on from quarterback? They did not. I assume they're not going to do that as well, even though there is chatter about that and has been for a while. We'll ask Michael Lombardi about that in about 10 minutes because he's been on that for 2 years.
Couple years.
Yeah, he's been saying they might be moving on. So he's been wrong, I guess, for a couple of years because they inevitably haven't made the decision. But were they at least thinking about it? We'll see. Can't wait to dive into more of that. There's a lot of stuff happening around the NFL.
Ton.
So we did not expect on this particular week 8 of the NFL season kickoff Thursday for every sports show to lead the program with Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy drama.
No.
Yeah.
Now, Jerry Jones stops by the flagship radio station down there in Dallas, and he says a lot. Jerry Jones, anytime he talks, he says a lot.
Wide open.
Yeah, it is a lot of things. He said something in the middle of an answer, though, that has sent the world into a little bit of a tizzy. And I honestly did not expect the response from the sports media people, so I must have heard his answer differently than other people. But here's Jerry Jones on the flagship station down in Dallas talking about, the problems with the team. This inevitably would lead to a lot of people even questioning McCarthy. Is Jerry Jones saying you're a big, dumb dipshit whenever it comes to football? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Here's his answer, and then we'll talk about it after.
But the point is that we've, in my mind, we're not playing very good football right now at all. And it's beyond whether or not we have Derrick Henry or not. Derrick Henry is having a career year. I don't know if he'd be having that career year in our situation. And that's really something you really do have to look at, because if he had not had as many carries as our running backs have had, then he certainly probably wouldn't have attained the level of impact he's having. And then he's a real good complement to the type of offense they run. We don't run that type of offense at all.
You see?
Our situation is more about, frankly, it's more about holding your blocks.
What?
It's more about not making mistakes.
What?
It's more about, in my mind, the receivers running through a tough man-to-man coverage and running on through it.
Okay.
And, if you will, get away from that. The types of things that we all think we should be looking at is, well, we're designing bad plays or we're designing bad concepts.
You should think about that.
The facts are that there's some of that, but there's also some of execution. There's some of the talent. I like our talent. I really do like our talent. I like our young talent. But young talent has a few more mistakes associated with it than if you are dealing with a veteran player. Although you've got to have young talent, as I've said.
You see. So in there he says, like, you naturally think, well, it must be the plays, must be the scheme. And then he says there's some of that, but everything else he basically, before and after, was about the players not making plays.
Yeah.
We need one-on-one with wide receivers, do this, we need to do this. I didn't hear him taking a shot at McCarthy other than him just cutting a promo about his Dallas Cowboys team and saying, like, you might think that, and sure, there's some of that. We all can agree that there's a bad player or two. I didn't see or hear him burying Mike McCarthy there. Now, Mike McCarthy then was inevitably asked about it, and he said, I hear that, I got to go check it out, whatever the case is. But I think that one little clip about him saying questioning strategies or designs and things like that, I don't think it was an actual shot. Personally, it sounded like he was firing at a lot of other people. But, man, a lot of people heard that as a shot at McCarthy. Former coach, obviously in the NFL. Your owner gives that answer. And Mike McCarthy is dealing with something vastly different than everywhere else in the NFL. We talked about it being a zoo yesterday, the only training facility in the NFL that offers up tours, being 3 feet away from Dak Prescott. It makes $10 million.
That's right.
Okay, it makes $10 million. An extra 80 grand per team into the salary cap because of these training facility tours. And in the grand scheme of things, obviously that helps.
Sure.
You know, that certainly
Big
helps.
time.
Yeah.
The players around the NFL, 80 grand, that's a good number.
It is.
It's a good number.
A lot of money.
If you're just walking down the street and somebody said, hey, here's 80 grand, holy shit.
Serious?
But the salary cap getting bumped 80 grand, I don't 100-some million.
more than that.
I don't know how to. But anyways, it is helping. Did you hear that as a shot at McCarthy? And if you're Mike McCarthy, how do you kind of handle all of that shit, Coach?
I think he handled it beautifully because he's going to get asked, right? So if it's out there, I don't think it was. I think Jerry just rambling like he can ramble and talk about things, and he starts to go down one road and then he catches himself, then he goes down another one. It's, could it be scheme? Could it be players, young players, mistakes, this, that, and the other? So Mike handled it well. If I'm him, I just take it. Okay, my owner's being my owner, right? Jerry being Jerry. And, you move on. There's so much going on. There's so much distraction, to your point. I mean, they're sitting there 3-3. They're coming off a bye. They need a win in the worst way. They're going, by the way, to San Francisco, right? To play the 49ers, who just got their asses beat, right? And they need a damn win. So there's a lot going on, and it's the last thing that Mike wants to do is have to answer anything like that. So,
and I think Jerry, he goes on that show, I think twice a week is what I heard. He goes on there twice a week. That's basically the only time you really hear Jerry other than those post-game press conferences where the microphones are
down his
on
throat.
his mouth.
Yeah.
On his mouth. That's old school there.
Oh, yeah.
That's old school. And walk in and then,
Don't want to misquote him.
They should tell him that, hey, technology is a little better.
Well, in that, there's some people utilizing technology. From the last scrum I saw, there's one phone. From the phone that I saw, you can see everybody else's phones. You can do a little look around on these phones. Some of them are using a voice memo.
Yep.
Some of them are using that. Some of them are using another, like, editing, I think, like an audio editing app in there. One guy I saw was on this side. He was holding it with his left hand, I think, kind of around Jerry like this. It was transcribing it immediately. Like, the entire thing was just getting transcribed. Yeah, it was like voice to text, exactly is what it was. And he had that thing real close because if he does miss a couple, it'll start.
Yeah.
That one, the transcribing voice to text one, you get off 3 words, all of a sudden that sentence
done.
Screwed.
Vastly different. You're going to have to go back. I thought that was genius, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, there is a good tag team partner there. Mike McCarthy goes from Green Bay to his basement every single day as a fired coach. He goes down to Dallas. He sees this entire zoo. Do you think he yearns for the days when he was a Green Bay Packer head coach, Tyler Schmidt?
I mean, maybe a little bit, but I think like we all talk about this. Like, you know exactly what you're getting into when you go to Dallas, and I don't think anyone could ever really say, like, especially all these guys who have been in the NFL for so long. I don't think there's ever really like a wow. You know, you hear all this stuff about the Cowboys, but then it was so much different when I got there. Like, he knew exactly what Jerry's like. Jerry owns the team. He can do whatever the hell he wants, and he's going to do whatever the hell he wants. He has for the last 20 years. So maybe to a degree, but, I mean, it's not like, you know, Green Bay, although there's not as much of, like, the media, you know, craziness like there is in Dallas. Like, the expectation to win, like, right there with the Cowboys, if not more so in Green Bay.
All right, so let's move off of this discussion. Connor, did I hear it wrong?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, the Cowboys aren't a good football team. So when the owner comes out, yeah, for sure, they're decent, but like the Cowboys where they want to be, like he's going to come out and say, yeah, we're not playing good football on offense, and they aren't. So I don't know why it's like a burial. It's not like he came out and said, hey, everybody needs to get the hell out of here. Mike McCarthy doesn't know what he's doing. He said, hey, we're not blocking well. Our receivers need to be better. Our young guys need to be better. Like, isn't that what – I feel like that's pretty – status quo right there when it comes to Jerry Jones and just owners in general talking about their team.
Yeah, it's almost one of the most basic answers he's given ever. And it's become like, well, and it obviously, the fuel to the fire is the fact that he's on his last year of his contract. That is Mike McCarthy. Right. So he's like, is he a lame duck, or is he just waiting until his contract's up? Because Jerry Jones is a guy that said, we negotiated a contract. That is what we're going to do. And then at the end of the contract, we will see whether or not we want to continue that. Remember, Jason Garrett's decision took like years for Jerry Jones to make. So how will Jerry Jones handle the Mike McCarthy contract talk going forward? How will Mike McCarthy handle the team going forward? Because they're still in it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is not a season over type situation. The training facility tours, I'm telling you, we've talked about it here for a few years once we learned about it. And I'm happy that Kalen, writer for ESPN, Kalen Kaler, wrote about it and got responses from guys that have been willing to say, like, it's a zoo.
It blew.
It is. You have to get certain people in there. If you have those people, I think you're going to do great if you're going to run the business that way. That's like everybody being aligned. Everybody talks about everybody being aligned, and normally that's like owner, GM, coach have to be aligned. But in that particular outfit, it's the owner is this way. This is what we are doing. So GM is him and his family. You're going this way. Coach, you got to go this way. But it's also the players too. Like, hey, players, you have to also be able to handle the way this team's going. Yeah, there might be a chopper that's coming down. You're going to be on prime time every single week. You're going to have tours walking through while you're trying to work out. Just like everybody else in the NFL is trying to work out. Just like everybody else in the NFL is trying to do their practice in meetings and everything like that. You're going to have to deal with, like, walking through fans. It's a meet and greet in the middle of the day. You have to deal with, nobody else does, but you have to. That means you got to get all the right people in your building to ever have success. Hopefully they'll be able to do that down there. Ladies and gentlemen, before we have Michael Lombardi join us for an incredible conversation, I assume. We started something last week, and we'd be dumb if we didn't do it again.
I have to.
We have a guy who was a coach in football for 36 years. He's been in every situation. The highest of highs. The lows of lows. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for episode 2 of Coach Pagano's Hot Seat. This is when Coach Pagano's done on a hot seat. He's not getting fired, but he's got to answer all the burning questions around the NFL that all of his coaching experience will give him a better version of an answer than any of us could possibly do. Coach, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the first burning question around the NFL right now, and it's actually a little bit different today than it was yesterday because we actually got live footage from a team meeting up there in New England with Coach Mayo. Here's what he had to say to his team.
There's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. S-A-W-F-T.
Okay, that didn't look like Coach Mayo. I must have been. That's on me. I got some things confused. He called his team soft publicly. It's obviously a massive talking point around the NFL because in the football world, that is a slanderous term. If you're a football player, to be called soft, it is a violent game. You get tackled. If you're soft, you get run over. You're not good at football. How do you feel about Coach Mayo? How do you feel about the Patriots? And how do you feel about his messaging publicly, Coach Pagano?
Hey, I was always, brought up you don't air this dirty laundry out in public. You can say things behind closed doors. He's going to find out. They got the Jets this week, right, at home? Jets need a win. They need a win. They're 1-6. Coach Belichick talked about it right on your program on Monday, right, about that defense. If you think about that defense a year ago, con man, same players.
Yeah, essentially. I mean,
signed
a lot
all
of
those guys back,
but
Duger and the rest of those guys, right?
Yeah. Injuries all across the board, but yeah, definitely for the most part, the guys playing are the same from last year.
Hey.
What?
So some numbers.
Okay.
So in 2023, that group, that's soft, 7th in total, 1 against the rush, 11th pass, 6 on third down, 6 red zone. All right, this year, 25th total, 17th versus the rush, 24th versus the pass. Third down, they're 29th. Red zone, they're 23rd. Same group of guys, right? But now we're going to say,
our 3 best players, and I'm not even including Judon in this because he only played 4 or 5 games last year. But Barmore's our best D lineman, blood clots before the year. Juwan Bentley's our best linebacker. Basically, our entire rushing defense. He tore his pec week 2. Jabril Peppers, kind of the leader of the defense. We saw a lot of clips from him from training camp. Yeah. He's obviously dealing with the situation. The passing defense doesn't make a lot of sense because Christian Gonzalez has been healthy. Jonathan Jones has been healthy. Kyle Duggar, he missed 1 game, but he has been healthy. But yeah, for the most part, the same guys are in.
Hey, so we're going to find out just how, good a relationship he has with his squad, how good a relationship he has with that defense, see if they respond. Most guys like that, like Max Crosby said, those are fighting words. These are grown men. You can pull them in behind closed doors and tell them just exactly where they stand. Do it in public. They're going to find out real quick.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how Coach Mayo's team responds. We'll see how that grows. It's his first time being a head coach, too, and
player.
All these public sentiments, yeah. So you would hope that he has a feel for it. But every football human I've ever talked to, like soft, is like, what was that? You might as well just look him right in the face and just say, you're the biggest baby back bitch in the history of Earth whenever you call somebody soft. That's just like jive turkey.
Yeah,
exactly.
That is what.
Did we ever hear Vrabel say that?
I don't know.
Vrabel played in the same organization. This guy played, right? Mayo played, good player, all that stuff. Maybe he feels like I've got the cred, the street cred to say this to his guys, but I think Vrabel was a pretty damn good football player, too, and a badass. I don't think he ever said that.
Once again, could be his coaching style, though. We will see how the team works, and that's why this is Coach Pagano's Hot Seat. Next, Tone's got you.
Hey, try not to be incredibly biased when I ask you this. The Ravens look really, 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 really good. Okay, offense is setting historical numbers right now. Is there anything that can stop them from going to the Super Bowl at this point?
Hard pressed to find. You just mentioned it. I mean, that offense, Lamar, those guys are rolling. Derrick Henry, special teams. It looks like Tucker's figured things out, right? Defensively, one worry, all right? Pass defense. Like, you cannot run the football in this group. They're number 1 in the league right now as far as, the run defense goes. But pass defense right now, they're 32nd in the league. They've had some communication issues. They've given up 34 plus 20 passes. That's dead last in the National Football League.
Jeez.
14 touchdowns, which ranks 29th in the National Football League right now. So they've got a new signal caller in Zach Orr. I think he's doing a phenomenal job. They lost 3 coaches, right? Mike McDonald went to Seattle. He's having success there in his first year as a rookie head coach. All right, the guy Weaver went down to Miami. He was the D-line coach, big part of that defense from a year ago. And Denard Wilson's at Tennessee, and Tennessee's kicking ass on defense. So they lost a lot of good coaches. They've got new coaches in there. Sometimes this takes time, but you can see there's some plays that from a communicate like too easy. T. Higgins making that play. Here they're in split safety defense, and we got a guy, running free. These are all correctable things, but they better get them corrected in a hurry.
Yeah, maybe it just takes a little time to find your voice on the defensive side. Hopefully they'll be able to do that because this Ravens team's must-watch.
Filthy.
But maybe they're must-watch because they're giving up so many explosive plays, too. It's like, it's a fun time with Baltimore.
Overs.
But the fourth quarters, seemingly, for that Baltimore defense have been kind of like, we're over. It's not over yet.
No.
And then they creep back in. A couple of those plays, obviously, in that situation. Next, Ty Schmidt has one.
Yeah, Coach, we recently saw that Bob Saleh is in Green Bay doing a little, I guess I don't really know what he's doing there. Him and LaFleur obviously have a very close relationship. He said he's going to be helping out with the offense, strangely enough. What do you think of this whole situation, and what can the Packers gain from this?
I love it for Coach Saleh. Obviously, there is a relationship there, Ty. For him to be able to stay connected to the game, he's getting paid by the Jets, right? Mm-hmm. And he's getting paid for another year. I think he's got another year on top of that. So
6'8".
He's doing this all pro bono for these guys. It's gratis. It keeps him connected. When I was out in 2018 after I got fired in 17 here in Indy, I had an opportunity to do some things like this for some coaches that I knew. Dirk Cutter was the head coach down at Tampa, and I put eyes on some things for him every week. So he's going to look at probably, red area defense. He's going to look at third down, some 2-minute stuff, and give LaFleur and that offensive staff a little bit different perspective.
Okay, so whenever you said defense there, red area, I think there is a real effort here to be like, he's not on the defensive side. Because the defense for the Packers got to figure it out, right?
It's humming right now, yeah.
Defense is playing the best it's played in a long time. Mm-hmm. So I think there was a big effort for LaFleur to say he's going to be on the offensive side, getting a defensive kind of set of eyes on it. How often does that happen for like offensive guys to get defensive coaches to look at things and then defense coordinators to get offensive
I think
coordinators?
Probably more than we know. This is just public because the guy's been fired and they have him out there and he's been seen on the, so they had to talk about it and describe, because they are doing great. Hafley's doing a phenomenal job with that Packer defense, and just say, hey, look, this gives us a little bit different perspective, a defensive guy telling us ahead of time, like advanced scouting. So whoever's next on the schedule, he's going to take a look at that team, that defense, give a presentation, give a write-up to LaFleur and the offensive coaches. Here's what they're doing. If I was doing this, we play this. This is what hurt us. This would hurt us. So maybe attack this player, this scheme, this coverage.
Could you imagine if the Packers go and win the Super Bowl? I tweeted it last night. If the Packers go and win the Super Bowl here and Coach Saleh gets a ring while getting paid by the Jets with the Aaron and LaFleur and then – just everything about it. It would be an all-time. It would be one of the greatest NFL football stories of all time. And if he's doing advanced scouting, remember when he was just focused on, doing one thing, coaching, as opposed to dealing with everything that head coaching has. That's why he got the job.
Exactly.
It's because how great he was. So him and LaFleur, I think, were roommates in college.
Yep.
They were best men in each other's wedding. It's like getting somebody that you're like best friends with back in your life. Good. Okay, that's good energy every single day. Even check you sometimes, probably that other people aren't willing or able to potentially check you. Both sides kind of doing that. And then also to get his big-ass brain just focused on one thing. Are the Packers going to get better because of Coach Saleh coming in town? Feels like it's like much better almost.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm excited about because it is easy to forget about how good he was in San Francisco because with recency bias, it's just like, oh, this guy was a dog shit head coach. He was so bad in New York. But like you said, like there's a reason he got that job. There's a reason he was the hottest, candidate for a head coaching position because he was absolutely unbelievable with the Niners defense. So yeah, maybe this is all it takes to kind of get that passion back because it was like he was a completely different guy when he got the head coaching position than he was when he was on the sidelines in San Francisco.
Is Sirianni 6 foot or is Saleh 6'8"?
I believe so.
Hey, son of a bitch.
I mean, geez, look at that guy.
Looks like Xerxes. You saw him in 300, yeah.
Oh God! I mean, he is a monster.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just the way the photo's set up, but it looks like he's almost maybe behind that other guy.
Yeah, could be. I mean, look at the fence behind him. That's 12 feet, and he's 3/4 of the way up.
Yeah.
So.
The guy's a sky king.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why he's so good at defense. The guy is seeing from the
booth on the field.
Yeah, bingo. From the booth on the field. Robert Saleh football. That is.
Look out.
What were we gonna say?
Tomlin did this with Beeflo. Now Beeflo stayed on the defensive side. He didn't go to the offensive side. But I tell you what, it did not hurt the Steelers' defense that year. Like it was when you get another mind that is a defensive mind that's as great as Flores was and as Saleh is, like it's not going to hurt your team.
Yeah, especially if LaFleur's going to add it into his repertoire for what game he's calling. Jordan Love's only going to get better. Maybe all of a sudden it's 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Maybe it's 4 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Whoa,
that'd be
take
sweet.
That.
Huh?
Take that. Maybe 4 touchdowns. Maybe 5 touchdowns, no picks.
What?
None?
Maybe. I don't know.
You think that's going to happen?
I think so. I think there's a chance.
Especially with Coach Saleh there.
Yeah.
What if it goes the other way?
Yeah, what if he comes in and says, hey, Jordan, you know what you actually need to do?
And then all of a sudden, oh, no. What if he does start working on mechanics and techniques as opposed to scheme and strategy?
Jordan Love will tell him to shut up.
Yeah. He ain't doing
it. Yeah, your offense was performing like gangbusters in New York. Why don't you focus on the
But he was a sweet
coach?
boy.
You think Jordan Love's going to say that?
I think he will. This is Jordan Love's team. He knows it. He's a leader of men.
Hey, Coach Saleh, I like what you're doing with Coach LaFleur. Don't fucking.
Yeah.
Get out
Stay
of my
away
face.
from me, okay?
You know what's crazy is the Jets' defense since he left.
Yeah.
See those numbers?
Not great.
On the pooper a bit.
It's worse.
And I think we all anticipated with Aubrey taking on the head coaching duties as well that there'd be some, give back. But they're like over 100 yards worse, giving up. And
you're saying Saleh's got maybe an okay brain when it comes to
no,
football strategizing?
Defensive brain. When he was there, they were giving up 15 points a game, and since he's been gone, now it's 30.
Well, they had to play the Steelers coach.
Since he's been gone. All right, next, last one.
Yeah, Coach, looking to tonight, Cooper Kupp back for the Rams. What are your expectations for him, especially as everybody's telling him, like, hey, you better enjoy putting that jersey on because you're never putting it on again, son?
Well, that's probably the Vikings' biggest nightmare because if you think back to week 1, he was targeted 22 times. I think he had 14 catches, a ton of yards. This guy's a machine. All the pre-snap motion they do with him, they haven't been able to do with the young guys, but I loved his answer when they asked him in the media about the trade talks. He's just like, be where my feet are. He just gave the be where.
That's a classic Chuck Pagano line.
Be where my feet are. I've got a job to do. This is the National Football League. This happens when 2017, he came in there with McVay in his first year. So he's been an all-star. It wouldn't, for him, he's been a little bit banged up. He's been a little bit injured. He's done a great job for him. Maybe he gets a fresh start. Who knows? But he's going to go out there and ball tonight.
All right. That's been the Coach Pagano Hot Seat. Great.
Coach.
Joining us now, maybe to elaborate on any of those items or what we just chatted about, is a man who is a multiple-time Super Bowl champion. He's a former general manager in the NFL. He's a former contributor consultant, which is currently happening in Green Bay with Saleh and LaFleur. He's a TED speaker. He's an author. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
What's up, guys? How we doing today?
Lombo,
How are we doing?
We're doing great. Obviously, week 8 of the NFL season's kicking off. That's good news. Coach Pagano just addressed Cooper Kupp there at the end. With trade rumors swirling around him, and the answer he gave was he's going to be where his feet are, and he's going to give everything he can to this locker room and team. Obviously, he's doing everything in the right way you would hope for. Does that affect him, and how do you think McVay treats Cooper Kupp, knowing that there's a chance they're trying to shop him? How do you think tonight goes for that Rams offense?
Well, I mean, obviously, this is a huge game for them. They might get Puka back, too. They get 2 of those guys back tonight. That certainly will help them against Minnesota, which will be critical. As Chuck said, you can't run the ball on Minnesota. That's a hard thing to do. So they're going to need their receiving core. Sean wants to run the football to really set up all his other stuff with the motion that he does. But I think, to me, Kupp's a pro, and he knows that, he's making a lot of money. And the Rams lose a game like this one, they could be looking at, I don't want to say a rebuild, but a kind of refocus of their team. And certainly Puka is really a good player, and he's going to be the number 1 receiver when he comes back. And maybe it's too much to pay a number 2 receiver. Now, the Rams have said to teams they're willing to pay some of the salary, which is really important in this deal. And there's teams out there we know that need wide receivers. Certainly they're not going to trade them up to San Francisco, but Tampa needs a receiver with Godwin's injury. We know that Pittsburgh's been hunting around for a wide receiver all the time. A lot of this is going to come down to, do teams feel like Cooper can stay healthy, and how much will he really impact the team, and how much does he have left?
I wonder all those things that the teams are wondering, but when he's playing, he is electrifying.
Yeah.
What was it? Yards, touchdowns, catches, and yak.
Yeah.
It was he won the Triple Crown, which is those, but then he also won actually the Quarter Horse too.
Yeah.
He won the yak, yards after catch, that 1 year with Stafford. His connection with Stafford, 9 and Dime, I believe they even have a podcast at Hangout, is one that'll be chatted about. They were a great duo. Then he kind of did catch the injury bug, and I don't think that was normal for him, but it seemingly has showed up a couple different times. Hopefully he's able to stay healthy, and if he gets added to one of those teams and goes on a Super Bowl run, it'd be fun to hear Cooper Kupp talk about it all.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp's good dude.
Oh, yeah.
Good beard.
Yep.
Yeah.
A beard makes him look Amish.
Jock.
See, jocked Amishman right now. It is could be a good Steeler. Could be a good Steeler. But you talk about Godwin's injury. Mike Evans
he's a great story, too. I mean, this is a 3rd-round pick that they get that comes in there, and he's gotten better every year of his career. The hard work that he's done. But look, this year's been rough on him. He's had 27 targets. He's only had 18 catches. He's averaging under 9 yards a catch. He's at 8.2. So, if you're watching him on tape, you're asking yourself, he's 31. How much does he have left? And, what are we going to get out of this thing? What are we going to get out of this? So I think that's key.
It's Brandon's theme song.
I think you picked it up.
Hello, hey, how's it going? Good day, my name's
That was
Pat.
my wife calling. And my wife
Hey,
was calling
mama.
me.
Lombardi.
Grazie, Lombardi. Yeah, so a lot of people are wondering if he's going to stay healthy. What does this do about Matt Stafford? If they end up trading Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald retires, they trade Cooper Kupp, Puka's going to be the number one wide receiver going forward. Does that mean Stafford's going to be his quarterback? Because you've been saying for a bit, there has been some times where the Rams have maybe looked to move Matthew Stafford.
They debated that. I mean, 2 years ago when I reported, of course, they denied it, but he was available to all the teams. I think it was last offseason, not this offseason. And then this offseason, he wanted a contract extension or a contract kind of replenishment, if you will, and they eventually did give him that. So I think if you are Kevin Demoff, Les Snead, and Sean McVay, you're at a crossroads, right? And this game is so important. If you're 2-5, you're ranked 13th in the NFC. Are you really going anywhere? The NFL doesn't tank like the NBA does, but certainly, do we really want to go down this road and see where we are? Are we better off looking at Bennett? The thing that worries you most is when you have these guys with huge contracts that may have skill injury guaranteed into the next year. If a guy gets hurt, you're stuck for that contract. So I think this is an organizational decision that they have to come to where they think they're going, where they can go from here. Matthew Stafford's really an incredible player and a tough guy, but he's playing behind an offensive line that's missing a bunch of starters, and they're not playing very well, and he's getting the crap beat out of them.
All right,
so I think there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, Les, figure it out over there, Les. We got faith. McVay, obviously a phenomenal football coach. I think everybody agrees with that. Excited to see what the Rams are, what they become in the future, as you chat about. Let's talk about the present and the future. It was talked about in New York. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Lombo, John Mara basically said that he doesn't anticipate making any changes and that Brian Daboll and Joe Shane are going to be safe, especially when you look at the previous tenures of some of the head coaches he's had who haven't stuck around for longer than 2 seasons. What do you think of this move, and how far away do you think the Giants are from being competitive in the NFC East?
Well, I mean, the number one thing is you got to get the quarterback. They went ahead and felt Daniel Jones was the guy, signed him to that contract. As I reported 2 years ago, it was going to affect their salary cap. Now their best players playing in Philadelphia, and it did. And, we heard all off season about Joe Shane saying we're going to get this offensive line better. I mean, did you watch the Eagle game? They'd have been better off counting the 5 Mississippi the way they were playing out there. It was hard. Evan Neal, one of his draft picks, is sitting over there on the bench, and they need offensive linemen. So, look, I don't know what John Maurer would have said anything different at where he was honoring his dad, Wellington. I mean, what's he going to say? No, I'm fed up. Everybody's out of here. I think he's got to keep evaluating it and make a decision. If he feels like they're making progress, if he feels like they're going in the right direction, then obviously he's got the authority to go towards that direction and give them another year. But I think that's only he can make that decision. Look, they spent this offseason. We had to peek inside to Hard Knocks. We saw their plan. We saw their vision, right? We got to learn a lot about the Giants front office organization and how they make decisions. And the team that they put together that they thought was going to be much better isn't. And that offensive line, which they put a priority on, hasn't improved. And now the line's not good. The quarterback's not good. Their best player just, didn't even try to set the record because he had enough. He sat on the bench and let the other guys play. So it's a hard situation, but it starts and ends with decisions, right? One of the things you learn being in the league, as long as I've been in the league, you make choices, right? You made a choice. They decided to sign Jermaine Illuminor and give him $1 million more. They decided to sign an offensive guard and pay him. And then they said, well, we didn't have any money for Saquon. No, you make choices. You could take some of that money and steer it somewhere else if you wanted to. And so I think that's ultimately where we all get judged on, is the choices we make.
The fact that we all got to see exactly how they laid out the team and how it was going to go and who they were betting on and who they were not willing to give money to, that is anybody going to do Hard Knocks off season like that?
They should.
To me, I'm at NFL Films 2 days a week with Coach Belichick, and I said, but after what they showed us, did you leave anything on the cutting room floor? And they all just kind of laughed. I mean, like this access that we had in their decision making, to me, I write a lot about leadership and what I do. I mean, you could write a course on how to make decisions or how not to make decisions based on what we were privy to on that. Like for me, I was, as a personnel man my whole entire life, I was offended by the randomness of how they decided to sign players. Like, you have to put models together. Like, if we sign player A and play him this much, how much money do we have left over for this? If we sign this, how much money do we have for that? And if you don't do models and you don't see your team, like, you got real issues.
I didn't hear enough information talked about before decisions were made in that Hard Knocks. And they were showing us full meetings.
They never said one time in the entire Hard Knocks, how do we beat Philly? How do we beat Dallas? When they decided to sign Brian, if I would have brought, and Chuck will verify this, if I would have brought Al Davis and said, hey, Mr. Davis, I want to sign Brian Burns. And you know what he'd have said to me? Well, first of all, he wants 20, whatever he wants a year. He would have said, well, how many sacks did he get against Kansas City? How many sacks did he get against, against the Chargers? How many sacks did he get against the Broncos? That's all he cared about. Yep. You never heard that. You never heard that. Like, what was Burns' relationship against Dallas, against Washington, against, Philadelphia? That's the kind of stuff we talk about. It really wasn't there. And to me, it was a little bit of offensive. I got to be honest.
You win the division, obviously, you get in the dance, and you have a home playoff game. Who knows what can happen there? You got to beat your, normal opponents on a regular basis. There's been so many moves that have been made to do that. Everybody in the AFC South was chasing Peyton Manning, so they're all getting edge rushers. Remember down there in Houston, I think it was Charlie Casserly maybe, he decided to bring in Mario Williams over Reggie Bush, and they wanted to run his ass out of town. And he said, I'm trying to tackle Peyton Manning. Can Reggie get to Peyton Manning? If that can happen, you let me know in this entire thing. It's different situations. That was my first time seeing an off-season office. And as somebody that's very interested in that side of football as opposed to the coaching schedule. Like, I would never sign up to be a coach in the NFL, ever. Front office personnel, that world, would love to get into it maybe. Now, I know there's long hours, but I like the philosophical shit as opposed to the, we need to find somebody's heel off the ground on third down so then we can target that person. I would much rather. So I was very invested in that particular Hard Knocks. And I'm watching those meetings happen, and this is kind of our reaction whenever we learn about how a lot of businesses operate. You're like, how is that what's happening? It's almost inspiring because you think to yourself, I think I could do that. I think I could do that. But then you're also disappointed.
It looks like how we made, if we were at some sports bar, that's how we would make, it looks like people were doing their fantasy draft. That's
it looks like this show. It looks like this show is happening.
And that's offensive to me, who spent my career. That's not how you do it. That's not how
But maybe there's different ways.
That's Chuck.
Yeah,
it's offensive. And so, look, I get John Mara. He's got to say what he said. But I mean, if he ends up having a top 3 pick, I mean, are you sure we're going to do that again? I don't know.
So that's
I don't know.
So that's the thing. It's kind of like the Browns situation. Like, I like when teammates are good teammates for people, but the situation needs call for it.
Sure.
So in this one, I like whenever ownership says we're going to be patient and we're going to do it. But if you finally decide to be patient with somebody and it happens to be the wrong boy, now you're setting your, and it's like, I'm not saying they're the wrong ones. I just saw a couple scenes, okay?
Yep.
And in those scenes, I thought to myself, that better work out. And then when it doesn't work out, you immediately think there's consequences. And, what's it called whenever you get hired for like your actual ability? Merit-based.
Yep.
Professional sports, the NFL, is a merit-based business.
Meritocracy.
It always has been. For players at least. If you're not good, you're not going to have a job for long.
Players.
For players.
It's what the great Bill Walsh said to me one time when I was a young scout. He said, this is not the league of the best and the brightest. And so what he meant by that was he understood that there's a lot of politicalness that goes into the NFL when people get jobs on more players. It's certainly a meritocracy. You play the best player. But sometimes, as we see on some teams, Deshaun Watson gets $230 million. He wasn't the best quarterback, but he kept playing because he got $230 million. So you get a little bit of that. But the NFL, the front offices and some of that's not based on how intelligent you are or how much you're accurate. It's based on who do you know.
I don't know Joe Shane, and I'm sure he's a good guy.
I don't either.
I'm sure he's a good guy. But when he decided to obviously lie to Mara in that one scene where he goes, oh, I just got a text. Yeah, Chicago's running it up. Philly's out. So I heard.
Yeah.
Like, that was obviously a lie. That was obviously a lie in that moment. As soon as you watch it, first time you go, that's a lie. right there.
His job is to know what Philly's doing. You have to know your competition.
I know, but it just felt like it was like he should have said, I don't want to pay Saquon, as opposed to
he didn't want to do it. He wanted to pay Singletary. He wanted nothing to do with Barkley. He was tired of Barkley. It was exhausting.
But I wish he would have just said that, as opposed to saying, I think Philly's out actually, so we can let him go. Like I just didn't like the way. That's not how I go about saying things, so I think that's probably why I don't really like it in the way it went. But as you watch it, it's like, oh, he chose to lie about something right here, obviously, to his owner, just to get out of this conversation. And if you're a general manager, I feel like you have to have conversations. You know, like you can't just run around combos. Like you can't dance out.
You guys always talk about honesty. Like the players only want honesty, coaches only want honesty.
And there's situations where you can just, let's get out of this.
Yeah, sure.
Like, let's just get out of this, you know. But when it's coming to like franchise player decisions being made, like I think that conversation has to happen where you say, and if you're going to do it, you put your mentality on the table and say, I don't want to pay Saquon Barkley. We paid Daniel Jones. Yeah. I don't want to pay him. I'm not going to pay him no matter what the price, whether Chicago's driving it up or not, whether he's going to Philly or not. Right. I don't want to pay him because I planned this. And then this is where you do the whole song and dance presentation. Singletary did this. They did this. We paid Daniel Jones this. We'll be, even if he goes to Philly, we're okay. Yep. Instead, he opted to do Philly's out.
Yeah, they're out.
And that's exactly why Mara said he's not firing him. He's like, I'm going to get this son of a bitch back so bad, I'm going to lie about not firing him. And at the end of the season, get your fucking ass out, Joe, now.
I just didn't like that. Like, I think he's a good guy, but like in the business sense of the situation and the decision that's being made there, I think he kind of like opted out of it.
The nephew, Tim McDonald, asked the most appropriate question of anybody. He said, what's our identity if we lose this guy? And now we look 8 games into the season, 8 weeks into the season, they have no identity. They're a dink and dunk offense. They take some 16 plays to kick a field goal. I know they have neighbors on their team. They can't make an explosive play. And guess what? We can't block anybody. We can't pass protect. And it's only going to get worse. We lose our best pass protector in Andrew Thomas. It's only going to get worse. And every time they play against a good pass rush team, I mean, I think Daniel Jones, look, I'm not in love with Daniel Jones as a player. He's smart. But when I'm in love with that kid, he's tougher than hell because I've never seen him call quarterback draw on two in the same series. I mean, they'll run They had no regard for his health whatsoever. They'll just run his. If I was his dad, I'd be calling Dayball on the phone and say like, "Hey, Brian, why you hate my kid? Why are you trying to kill my kid?"
They paid him $40 million. We need to figure out what is good.
Yeah, gotta get him moving.
Hey, you guys don't even have a fireman Ed over there, huh? Spelling out Giants. What is good for the Giants? Bruce Brown, is there anything?
Malik Neighbors. He's
a dog.
He's great.
He's a dog. Future's bright there.
Dexter Lawrence.
Sexy Dexter
leading the league in sacks and tackle. So there is some positive. There it is.
They're like the Jets, though, Pat. They haven't won very much.
Baseball.
Look, they went to the playoffs in Brian's first year, but before that, as you put that graphic up, they've been through coaches like crazy. And here's the biggest issue. They haven't closed the gap on Philly or Dallas. Like, they haven't. In the last 10 years, they're the only team that hasn't won the East, right? They're the only team that hasn't won the East. Philly's won the East. Dallas has won the East. Washington won the East twice.
Jeez.
The Dallas has won it 5 times. I think Philly.
And nobody's ever repeated.
Yeah, they've all won it.
Right?
Yeah, it's cycle.
Nobody's ever repeated, and they haven't done it.
Nobody's repeated except for the Giants have never been the team that won it. The years they went to the Super Bowl and won it, they were wild card teams.
They've repeated the cycle of missing out on winning the thing when everybody else was dancing and do-si-do. And Imara, you can tell it affects him because in that Hard Knocks, head down all the time.
Going through it.
Shoulders, this, head. A lot of that.
I will jump off the Brooklyn Bridge if we lose Saquon to Philadelphia.
Well, Saquon almost had a record-breaking day.
Yeah.
Against John Mara. So let's keep
Didn't
eyes
you just know that was coming?
Had to.
Yep.
God damn.
You knew it was.
Especially with Sirianni,
You
too.
knew it.
Spoke that. Oh,
Sirianni was like, hey, we're going to make shorties.
Yeah.
Bill said everyone in the league knew.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he said, you kind of know what's going to happen out there. All right, let's talk about a team that is winning and still making moves. Conman has a question for you.
Yeah, Lombo, how'd you feel about the D-Hop to the Chiefs trade? It feels like the Chiefs once again are going to go on a massive run and three-peat this Super Bowl bullshit that no one wants to see. But how'd you feel about the trade? And is that perfect for Patrick Mahomes in that offense?
Well, I think Kansas City knows who they are, and D-Hop's not going to make them an explosive offense or put them in the 30-point-a-game range. But what he's going to be able to do is convert third downs. He's got a huge catch radius, and he's got a really good eye-hand coordination. This team is all about their defense, right? Their defense is what's carrying them. Now, they've got to get Patrick Mahomes to stop turning the ball over. He knows it as well as anybody. But what I think D-Hop gives them is somebody who, if you play zone against him, he's going to get open. If you play man against him, he's going to be covered, but yet he's still going to make the catch. And he'll convert the sticks. He's not going to get over 11 yards a catch. It's not going to be needed. But Andy Reid has tailored this team. When Pacheco comes back, they're a run, control the clock, and win with their defense. And so it fits their personality, their identity. This identity happened last Christmas when they decided, you know what? We got to change. We got to stop thinking we're going to score 30 points a game. We're going to win with our defense. And they've continued that. So it fits where they are right now. It really does. It fits where they are right now. Look, Baltimore is a huge challenge. There's no question. But Baltimore's given up, so many points in the fourth quarter. I mean, this is an amazing thing about Baltimore. Baltimore's given up 84 points in the fourth quarter. They've only given up 96 in the other three quarters combined. So if they don't fix how they play pass defense late in the game, like you guys, like Chuck talked about, it's going to be problematic. Dean Peace will help them, there's no doubt. They need some experience on that staff because they lost so many good coaches. But they need to make a trade to maybe get another corner. They're going to need to do something to step up. But Baltimore, make no mistake about it, Baltimore, with Derrick Henry and the way Lamar's running the ball, the way that offense is going, they're going to be really a problem for everybody.
The AFC stacked at the top, not as deep as the NFC is what people were saying. Now let's pivot away from on-field play. Let's start talking about decision-makings that organizations are going to have to do. About 3 minutes to a hard out. Chuck Pagano, Paisano in a velour jumpsuit has a question for you.
Hey, Lombo, real quick, we were talking about job security with Daboll and the Giants. Who are some of the guys? We're at the halfway point right now in the season, pretty much. Who are some of the guys? We had the usual suspects from last year. Ben Johnson from Detroit, Aaron Glenn from Detroit, maybe Slowick down at Houston. Is there some other guys that we need to put out there you have on your radar that could be candidates? Some of these openings that are going to happen?
I think those are all the guys that have done a good job offensively and defensively within the framework of the scheme. Certainly, I mean, look, Jeff Hafley's done a really good job up at Green Bay. He's been a head coach before. He certainly should move to a top of a lot of people's list because he brings head coaching experience into the situation.
Yeah, get him out of there.
Nope.
Saleh's
so I think to me that you want somebody. Look, I think you need. For me, if I were hiring, I want somebody who's been a head coach in some element before. Look, I think the colleges are fed up too. There should be some college coaches that want to try to get into the pro football as well because of all the NIL and all those things. But I think to me, look, I think you look for a guy that's had a really good turnaround with the team like Hafley's done there at Green Bay. They're playing much better defense. I think they've given up 31 first downs in the last 2 weeks. They're really good. This week was the first time they won a game where they didn't turn the ball over by their defense.
Yeah, the coaching stuff every week.
It's wild.
Like Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy. Is he going to be available? Is he going to get a job somewhere else if he gets let go from the Dallas Cowboys after his final year of his contract here? Hafley obviously getting into the mix. That'd be a big bummer, even though Saleh's around. And then you talk about Ben Johnson. Why the hell is he still allowed to be at Detroit this year?
Can't lose him.
Well, he go on another one. It's like
Kingsbury.
Well, but I think that here's the key, Pat. Here's the key. They're paying so much to coordinators now that the agents who represent the players are saying to themselves, do we really want to go there? Do you want to go to work for David Tepper at Carolina? And even though he's going to give you a 6-year contract, or you wait for the right job to open up? And if you're Ben Johnson, I think the answer is you wait for the right job.
Okay, we got 40 seconds. You like Vikings tonight or you like the Rams? 80% of the money, I guess, is on
the Vikings tonight. I think Hawkinson comes back. I think if Sean McVay can't run the football on you, that's when he gets into problems. I think the Vikings will play well. Sam Darnold. I'm looking for the best tie night of Al Michaels' year because he's probably had dinner at Toscano's, and that tie is going to be magnificent. Make sure you look at it, Boston.
Oh, we will. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Lombardi. All right, hour one wraps up. Thank you to Ram Trucks. Remember, hashtag Ram Trucked. College play. Don't rip the clip. Just tell us when it was and who it was. That player could potentially win a 2,500 heavy duty Rebel Ram at the end of the year. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life.
Last week, I have no idea what to expect. I will say, since Kirk Herbstreit is rolling around in a Bentley right now to a plane, Nick Saban will be the holder today for the field goal kicking contest. $80,000. Rob McElwainey's here, obviously absolute dog, owner of Wrexham, obviously his soccer team, and also It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think you have 10 other investments. This guy might be a billionaire. I have no idea, but he is awesome and entertaining. Kyle, you're a junior here, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Pat.
Have you ever talked any trash about kickers before?
Of course I have, Pat. Come on now.
This was his sign that he brought today. This guy. Is there anything you'd like to say to him before your first hold on TV?
Good luck, man. That's all I can tell you. I'm rooting for you.
Did you ever hold before?
Yeah, when I was in high school. That was a long time ago.
Okay, you're going to do great. Rob, former soccer player, maybe sign him to Wrexham after he makes this kick or no?
And look how confident he looks. I mean, I would be shaking. He seems very, very confident. I think he's going to make it.
Go! Go! 80,000, Kyle! All you got to do is put it through the uprights. Nick Saban, the greatest of all time, on the call. Oh, no. Oh, no. Spiral. Throw a completion down the left side.
Wow. I say give him another kick.
Rob, he immediately blamed the holder. Okay.
I don't know, but it looked like it was coming back. It wanted to come back. If it had a little bit more distance, it might have gone in.
Coach Saban, does he deserve another kick, you think, or what? Oh, no, Steve, back through
another kick.
I want to make Coach dive.
That's smart, yeah, make him play. Coach, you think he deserves another shot?
Let's give him another shot.
Okay.
Make it.
This one for $100,000, Kyle. Nick's looking out for me here a little bit of coaching.
Rob,
what was your
right
did you graduate?
I did not go to college, so I've adopted Oregon as my home.
If you were to go, would general social sciences be your thing? Hey, hold on, Kyle. Good luck.
Come on, Kyle.
$100,000 in Oregon. Oh, what about? Hey, all right, Kyle, I feel like you hustled me a little bit.
Yeah.
Your second kick was so much better than your first. Shout out to Nick for the hold.
How important is the holder?
Hold is the most important thing.
Great, man. Congratulations. That's great.
This thing is getting
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink. Stop! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our spooky humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this NFL Week 8 kickoff Thursday, October 24, 2024, hour 2 of the program starts now. Football! It's fantastic. We're so lucky we get to talk about it every single day. Sports is delivering in a big time fashion. You know, as the world seemingly is getting a little bit more loud. You know, I'm seeing a lot of commercials saying terrible things about the people.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know, we're just 14 days away from
12
days away from trade deadline day,
Right.
Which is November 5th, which is also some other thing. Let's remember that sports are the greatest thing on earth. And if you're thinking like, wow, there's so much negativity somewhere, find a game on. Pick one of the sides. If you're old enough and you have the means, go ahead and put 50 cents a buck on one of the sides. Sure. And just let your mind drift away and watch the competitors compete in competitions that require a high enough skill level that somebody has to commit their entire being to it. Go ahead and just drift away into the magic that is sports and competition. And the fact that we get to talk about it every single day, we are so incredibly thankful for. And we hope, we'll be able to do it until you just stop watching. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when you stop watching, we'll understand. I can't stand me either. I've been with me for 37 years. But we do know we live the luckiest
lives on earth because of all of you. And sports are the greatest thing to ever be created.
Hell yeah.
Shout to sports, shout to football. Week 8 of the NFL season kicks off this evening. There's a lot of convo about that. Basketball happened just yesterday.
Yes, it did.
And the day before. Hockey's still happening, obviously. And baseball throws the first pitch of the World Series tomorrow night. It is a great time to be alive. The Talks the Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP. Tony's here. Tony, looking svelte, pal.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's hard during football season, but we're going to keep trying.
Well, especially when there's 4 different meals being delivered to the Thunderdome every single day.
Yeah, they're all delicious.
They are all delicious.
So delightful.
Thursday's the most delicious.
By far.
Ty, you know what's coming after the show?
I do know what's coming after this show. I've been thinking about it since 7:30 this morning.
What's that?
Pizza Hut.
Wake up.
Oh, wow.
Wake up, Chuck.
Yeah, it's 36-year football coach, 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. Chuck Pagano in a sweet Paisano velour tracksuit.
Yeah.
Great Nikes, too. I don't know if you see the
look good.
great Nikes. Yeah.
Don't match, but look good.
He looks real. Yeah, it's an interesting choice. Normally Chuck has 6-shoe game.
Yeah, always.
He's not scared to put the not the Fugazis.
The all-white.
The Ferragamo.
Yeah, the all-white Ferragamos. Where's your all-white Ferragamos?
Ferragamos would have went with that thing nicely, but I think the point he's trying to make is that it's cold in here.
Oh, okay.
That's what he was doing.
Oh,
this
that's
entire time.
why?
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to wear the Ferragamos, because they aren't built for.
I felt good about myself on this purchase. Got on Amazon all by myself, opened up that app.
Yeah.
I mean, got it shipped to the house.
Overnighted. It's
Oh, my
amazing
God.
what happens, isn't it?
It's so cool.
2024.
All these
is awesome.
boxes, that's all I do every single day is break down Amazon boxes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And we're not even at Christmas.
Miss Tina?
Huh?
Miss Tina knows how to work
please.
the.
My God.
My wife actually, some people call her Samazon. That's
It's a great nickname.
Yeah, there's a lot of boxes. Yeah, there is a lot of conversations about that. It's amazing though.
Full-time job.
Shout out to 2024 having this capability.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I need a toothbrush. Got it.
Boom.
Oh, it's here.
2 seconds. Did that thing just fly in?
Yep.
Oh yeah, drone ponies.
Did.
Yeah, drone ponies are coming in now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's sweet. Can somebody bring some Pizza Hut? Yes, you can.
Oh,
Available on DoorDash, obviously available direct for delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And they got these $7 deals. What is this, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, they're $7 meal deal, essentially. If you go on the app, it's basically anything that you could want on there. If you get 2 or more of those, boom, you're paying $7 a pop. Okay, look at all these options. Look at all these options. Basically everything on the Pizza Hut menu. Whether you want pizza or you want one of their
a medium 1-topping pizza.
$7.
If you order two or more from the deal lovers.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't just get that by itself. Originally, all by itself, going to be more than $7.
No, but you
do the deal lovers, you get at least 2 of these things.
Double order breadsticks?
Exactly.
Double order breadsticks, $7. You can pair that with medium 1-topping pizza. You can get 10 medium 1-topping pizzas for $70.
$70. You know what you'd be paying for 7 medium 1-topping pizzas without this deal? You're probably paying like $130.
No way! What a deal for the deal lovers!
Unbelievable. And then we got desserts, we got pastas,
What?
we got all the bread sidings. Obviously, I mean the wings. The wings, and then there are so many options in terms of what flavor of wings you want. You want boneless wings.
What?
You want bone-in wings.
What?
Don't even get me started on dessert. Okay, we
got
got all the
Cinnabon
desserts you
minis.
could want. Yeah, the Cinnabon minis, which are
my
a personal
God.
favorite of mine. We got the chocolate donut bites,
donut
also
bites.
delicious. And you know what? If you're feeling a little parched with the za, and you say, "Hey, I already got a couple medium pizzas coming. I don't need that extra bread. I don't need a meat lover's melt. I don't need
Cheese
any
sticks.
breadsticks or cheese sticks. You know what? I think I'll just get like a 4-pack of Dew.
Sure.
Boom,
Bang.
$7.
How about, obviously 4-pack do is good. How about the oven-baked Italian meats pasta?
Oh, man.
Oh.
I know everyone says no one out pizzas the Hut. Far be it from me to say, no one out pastas the Hut. either.
And also nobody outwings the Hut.
Mm-hmm.
It's really as simple as that. Really,
No.
no one out Huts the Hut.
Hut!
Hut, 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 hut.
And that's the Pizza Hut! Hut! Difference.
Yeah, that's right.
It's so good.
It is.
And there's no way they paid the amount of money on this particular show to do what we just did for them.
Sure.
That whole menu we just showed. But once you start looking at it, it is really a modern marvel that this is $7 if you get 2 of them.
It's unbelievable.
It makes no sense why they're just giving away food right
We're
now.
talking about multiple meals here, too. Unless you're a big-time fatso, which I've been known to, you get a couple pies and you put those down and then you just feel like complete dog shit for the next several days. But you get 2 medium 1-topping pizzas and, maybe some dessert. you're looking at dinner. And then maybe you want breakfast the next morning. You know, some whole pizza. You pop that, you nuke that thing in the microwave, and then guess what? You still got a couple slices left over for lunch to take into work.
Pizza Hut's looking out for you.
They are. They are. Nobody out pizzas the Hut. We say it time and time again, but it's the truth.
No one out looks out for you. The Hut.
The way the Hut does. No,
yeah, no one does that.
Thank you, they don't.
Thank you, Hut.
Thank you, Hut. Love you, Hut.
Pizza Hut. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, from an attic in Ohio is a guy who will never eat any of that.
Nope.
No.
This guy says, excuse me, does your restaurant sell bland grilled chicken? Tasteless rice?
Mm-hmm.
No seasoned broccoli?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? This is my restaurant.
Table for two.
And that's why he's a college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah,
$7, AJ. $7.
$7. First off, I'm not Dan Orlovsky. You basically described Dan Orlovsky's whole, how he eats. I like spices. I like things. I love pizza. I would get two medium one topping pizzas for $14. Boom, call it a day. I'm eating both of them.
That's clearly the best. That's the way you utilize this deal, lovers. I think
That's a good one.
Yeah, like the two medium one topping pizzas. And does that count for original hand toss and thin crust? Do we know? Have we looked into that?
So
I'm getting both.
It definitely is going to cover either hand tossed or thin. I want to say there might be a slight upcharge for pan, but yeah, you're looking at the same thing no matter what. Personally, I usually go with I'm gonna get a za. I'm going to get a double order of breadsticks, and then based on how I'm feeling, I'm either going to get a dessert or I'm going to get a 4-pack of Dew.
Yeah.
$21.
$21.
I paid $17 for a coffee this morning.
Exactly. I paid $22 for this coffee.
Jeez.
Shot of espresso.
It's a lot of money.
Shot of espresso. Very expensive, I guess.
We shouldn't be doing that.
They flew it right in from Italy.
Don't go back.
Maybe this all changes on trip.
Go to the gas station.
Well, I mean, I'm excited. There's nothing going to change. No one's ever going to out Pizza the Hut.
No.
That won't change.
But that's a good deal. That feels like an old school deal.
Mm-hmm.
That one. This one feels like a deal. Back in the day, deals used to be wide open. You remember digital deals that used to be given to like influencers, and there would be like a link and a code. And it's like they're just trying to see how big your following is, how much activity you have. So that's why the promo link thing is what it is. That's kind of like a part of rite of passage almost into the digital business world. They used to have some deals that were just like absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
Like, hey, they're giving away 45 beds, just full on thing. It'll get delivered to your door. All you do is hit this link, and people would almost think that's like, doesn't seem real. It was like, no, they actually were doing those deals. Deals have progressively got worse. Used to have like, the dollar store used to be actual dollar store. Like as
Dollar menu.
Dollar menu used to be actual dollar menu. Like obviously inflation, I don't know enough about it all, but I guess whenever you just don't have real money, but you're acting like you do, there's a debt and interest that ends up happening. Things become more and more, even though because your dollar's becoming less. So that whole thing, I think, is the case, is what's happening. But then whenever somebody drops in and is like, all right, how about this? We'll give you fucking 3 meals for $21. It's like that doesn't happen anymore.
No.
And that's why no one.
And we mean no one.
Pizza's the Hut. Thank you, Pizza.
Thank you, Pizza Hut.
The NBA happened last night. Pacers are on track to win 82 games.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, Olympic gold medalist, NBA All-Star, superstar, friend of 50 Cent. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyrese Haliburton.
Yeah, Tyrese.
Sup, Fifth? Sup, Fifth? That was so cool, dude.
They're saying I leaked the video. It was a personal message that I woke up to. You know what happens? Things happen.
Hold on. That was not supposed to be, because when I woke up in the morning, I saw Tyrese, I believe your lady, and then her sisters or friends. I don't remember who everybody is in a video, and you're saying Fifth. So cool.
Yeah.
You sounded so cool saying Fifth, and then you said longtime support or friend or something like that. And the internet said, obviously, that this is one that's going to come back later in a story. I don't know if you saw that reaction or not. Can you clarify the situation of the Fifth video in residency? Because we are all massive Fifth fans.
Huge.
Yeah. 05 high school graduate. So you can find me in a club every single day before school, obviously senior year. That's big time. That's big time.
For sure. Well, Fifth's a good friend. We've become pretty close over the past couple of years, and got his Vegas residency. His team wanted friends and family to get him a little video. Sent the video probably later in the night than I probably should have.
Send a video.
woke up in the morning and there it was on social media. And I called Pip. I said, "What happened?" And he was like, "I just thought it was funny." So there it was, and there was no going back on it. We had to embrace it.
You're friends with Fifth.
Hell yeah.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Pretty sweet.
That's what I learned from the entire thing. That was my takeaway from watching it the first time. And then I opened the internet, and the internet's awesome. And I started going through, I'm like, all those things, I guess, could be the case. Good for you, Tyrese. You're a superstar, bub. Congrats on the Puma deal. Obviously, big Puma.
Yeah.
Big Puma. How'd you feel in the Pumas last night? Everybody's saying you started a little slow, then you got hot late. Obviously, have a massive bucket and feel the boom.
Yeah.
You bring a boom.
Mm-hmm.
You brought the boom.
Bringing the boom for sure. Yeah, no, I felt good in the kicks. I just couldn't make no shots, but I think it's because I took a pregame nap, and we're just going to come up with any excuse we can for game one. So just going to move on from there.
Okay.
Get that one pass.
Shoes felt good. How's team feel? Can I be obnoxiously arrogant about the Pacers on air this year like I was last year?
For sure. I would hope so, because that's who you are when it comes to the Pacers, and we appreciate that. So let's keep that going.
All right. We're on track to win 82 this year, so.
Nice.
No big deal.
We are on pace. We are on pace.
Yeah, and that's what Pacers do, don't they? They keep the pace.
Yes, they do.
Go ahead, AJ.
So 82 games, obviously you guys win the first one. How do you not get 2 up or 2 down? Like, I know we talk about this in baseball. Like, they have to kind of stay steady no matter what. How do you do that in basketball, especially when it's so, like, physically taxing every single night?
Well, I think the difference is, like, in football, you guys have to, like, you have to marinate with that for a week. Like, you have to sit there, think about it, think about everything you messed up, you did well. In basketball, it's kind of like you just watch film on the plane and you watch film in the morning, and then you kind of get over it because you got to get to the next game. Like, I really watched film last night. I'll probably watch some clips later today. I'll watch film tonight and then move on to the Knicks, because we just got to get ready for that one. So, I feel like in game one, it's like you don't overreact. Like, I feel like the way, I don't know how it is in football, but after, game one for me, it's kind of like, all right, we got film on the tape, whether it's good or bad, and you can kind of just react to it that way. So, any tape is good tape for me right now. Just need something to base everything else off of, and we move from there.
Are you giving speeches during the game? I know you're a podcast host now.
Well, I was a temporary host just for a pretty big episode, but no, I'm trying to give some motivational speeches. We were down all night last night, so had to figure out a way to win the game.
Okay, and the boom. Are we doing that all year?
Gotta be here to stay.
Are we big Costco, little Costcoing all year, or what are we doing?
We do love the Costco guys. Shout out AJ, Big Justice, the Rizzler, of course.
Yeah, do the Rizzler.
Thank you. I had a conversation with our massage therapist, Victoria, and TJ. We were explaining who the Costco guys are because they're not really up to date on the Costco guys. And so I told them. They said, "Are you going to do the dance?" I said, "Well, only if I hit a big shot." So Game one, hit a big shot. TJ and me, we brought the boom. I mean, that performance for me will probably get a doom, but we won, so I could probably give it like 1 or 2 boom.
Yeah. Because it was like a 3 doom night going early.
Yeah.
But then
the doom.
Yeah, then big shot late. You need it. Go up 6 with 20. We boom there.
Boom. Bring the boom.
Probably like
boom.
It went from a 3 doom to 2 boom night real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats to you. What? That's not. We haven't seen that.
No, we haven't.
I don't think we've seen that. It's been doom, more doom. Never back to the boom.
Never bring in the boom.
But when you're in the big boom, every once in a while.
End up.
I don't know if I kind of been thinking about the Rizzler face, but I don't got that as well. So right now, with all due respect to the Rizzler, I'm not going to break out the Rizzler face yet.
You got a lot of charisma. Your costume last night was cool.
I appreciate that.
It was cool. Your glasses.
Did they dress up? Mm-hmm. They dress up at Halloween already?
He calls it a costume. What do you mean a costume? When it's just what I wore to the game. He calls it my costume. But, it's just what I wore to the game. He wants me to wear a black T-shirt with some jeans and some boots or something.
Sounds like.
But you look so cool there. You look so. you could do that. Listen, you can pull off anything. You're much more, savvy, rizzed up fella than I would be. Sure. But last night's costume was good. I thought it's his game costume. I've never seen this guy in.
We're still going with costume. What if it's just my attire? What if this is just how I dress?
If I was to see you in public with one of these things that I see on for the game, I would say, okay, so you do wear this everywhere.
Last night I just had a coat on and jeans. That's That's a costume?
Purse is sweet.
I mean, the bag.
Those Doc Martens.
The whole thing. The coat's a big one too. I mean, it was like there's a front photo.
I think it looks good.
I think
like
so
it.
too. He looks amazing, but he's not wearing it at the dinner. I don't think, unless he is.
Well, you don't invite me to dinner, Pat. So you don't know what I'd wear to dinner.
Whoa.
Speaking of skipping out on invites, can we talk about Connor? Let's talk about Connor.
Let's do it.
Skipping out on invites. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we'd like to do that. Actually. What happened?
Connor, what happened?
I mean, look, dude, you're having a Halloween party at 11 o'clock at night. That's so late. I got football games to watch the next day. I got a life to live.
Well, he had to record some stuff for Fifth. What do you mean? You couldn't go?
Yeah, I mean, if Connor was there, he probably would have, protected me from making that Fifth video, but now it's already out. So blame Connor.
Okay.
Blame Connor.
So what happened? You got invited to an Olympic gold medalist Halloween party, and you said no because it was too late?
It started at 11 o'clock. It's like, hey, look, man. I'm tired. I don't want to do that. Leave at 11.
So mature. Let's go.
It started at 11.
Come to the Halloween party. All he wanted to talk about was the Rizzler. We actually sat on FaceTime for about 10 minutes to talk about bringing the boom and the Rizzler, and then my phone died, and our call ended, and then he just didn't show up to the Halloween party. So
dust in the
kind of crazy.
You look so cool at that Halloween party. Connor could have got a photo with you. I think I didn't know you loved Halloween as much as you do. There's some people that are big Halloween people, and feels like you are one.
Yeah, I mean, my dad did not allow me to dress up for Halloween as a kid. Never trick-or-treated in my life.
What?
My dad never allowed it.
That's a doom.
So that's a big doom. We're giving that a doom. But once I got older, got some money, and now I can, dress up for Halloween, giving that a big boom.
So that's why you're having a Halloween party, because you want to live. This is why Michael Jackson built that entire amusement park.
Yeah, Neverland Ranch.
Yeah, it didn't have.
Okay.
What's that?
Don't do that.
So do you trick or treat now, Tyrese? Like, do you find a gang of kids and go trick or treating?
That's a good question.
I don't trick or treat. No,
so you've never done it. So you've never done it.
We got to get a sack in your hand, pal.
We should.
Yeah, pillowcase.
Yeah, let's go Friday.
Need
So
it.
you've never done it. Okay. Jeez.
Let me know. I'd love to trick or treat.
It says take one, only fucking take one. That's all you need to know.
That is a little bit of a thing. You know what I mean?
Unless they're king size.
If they're king size, you got to hit that house a couple times.
No holds
That's a
barred.
shame you were not allowed. That is a big doom. But look what you're in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in the NBA, so it all worked out. All right, we appreciate you joining us, man.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on. Let's go. Go Pacers.
81 more, brother.
There we go.
81 more.
Yeah, good luck against the Celtics.
Who do you play tomorrow?
The Knicks. We play the Celtics next week, Connor. Connor, are you going to come to the game?
Oh yeah, to watch the Pacers get their fucking shit
You're gonna be
pumped
dressed
by
up
the
like
Celtics.
you're gonna be dressed up like the. You're gonna dress up like the leprechaun and bring your pom poms and do all that.
Yeah, you're gonna be a little march.
I don't need gimmicks. I got the title, bitch.
As he hits a fake trophy.
It's a real trophy. This isn't fake. It's real. It's metal.
All right, we'll see you. We're going to see a lot of your games, man. We're thankful for what you do for the city, buddy. Good luck out there. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyrese.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, Tyrese.
I didn't know he brought the boomer until this morning.
Yeah.
Saw the highlight. I said,
Big time.
why'd you stand him up? You didn't want to go represent the show or represent the program?
Look,
11 o'clock is late.
I would love to do that. And when I asked, I was like, okay, is that like 8 o'clock or something? He's like, no, it starts at 11. It's like, okay, first of all, I don't like the loud boom, 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 booms in the club. I don't.
First
like
of
the
all,
club.
the place he's having Halloween party at has the boom, the boom, the boom.
Yeah, I don't like the clubs. I don't like the boom, boom, booms. Okay,
Agreed.
And so then that's one thing. But if it's at 8, I can go. 11 o'clock start. I mean, we got lives to live on Sunday here, pal. The Patriots.
We got an international game, bub.
The Patriots played at 9:30 in the morning. What do you want me to do? Show up at 11? I can't do that.
This guy calls me an old man. Jesus Christ.
Chuck would have been there.
Chuck, I got my priorities straight.
I mean, a friend of the program, and you're going to diss him like that?
Well, to be clear, we didn't know it was happening, so I didn't even know that we potentially embarrassed. We could have sent Talk in there or something.
Sounds like Connor didn't know what was happening.
Well, that's the other thing is that Talk's birthday was Saturday. I got a birthday dinner for Talk. I become a bad teammate if I leave Talk to go to a boom boom party at the clubs. I can't do that.
Good friends. Good friends.
Good line.
Trying to walk the line here.
I know Gumps is awake at 11. Like, he could have definitely done it.
Yeah, Gumps just awake all night.
Yeah.
Which
Saturday was a late one for sure.
proud of you, Gumps.
Yeah, we took to his birthday. Happy birthday, Talk.
Did you go to the Halloween party?
No, I went to a different nightclub though till about 3.
No, so no.
I wasn't invited by Tyrese. Tyrese didn't call me.
Okay.
I don't have Tyrese's number.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We got a little downtown problems. The little DTP.
Never downtown problems.
Never.
Downtown's only up.
Let's talk about some problems that could potentially be happening in a downtown near you. Professional athlete has to do jury duty. Okay, normally professional athlete, because he doesn't want to do jury duty, normally says, am I even allowed to do this? And then somebody snoops around and says, you're a notable person, can't have you actually on a jury, especially if it involves a felony or some sort of assault, because let's say you're a part of a jury that convicts somebody. If you're a memorable face or somebody that is notable, you could potentially be in danger later on in your life. Now, there's obviously been jury members that have come out publicly in very serious cases and made themselves superstars after doing the entire thing. But the entire point of it, I thought, was to potentially remain anonymous, a jury of your peers, make a decision, and then you're out of there. So that's always been the out, I think. AJ, I don't know what has been on your side, but I think that has seemingly happened for most people that I know that are notable human beings who have been summoned to serve society as a jury member.
Yeah, I think so. I know people, I've never had jury duty, but I know people you can say a number of things to get out of it if you want to.
Well, breaking news, kicker Brandon Aubrey for the Dallas Cowboys, not going that route. He actually said, kind of honored to be selected. Yeah. Would like to serve would like to serve society and the community. For that, I say, Brandon, incredibly noble. Now, with that being said, this guy doesn't miss kicks. No. This guy does not miss kicks. No. He is off to a phenomenal start. Obviously, his story is one of incredible hard work and a rebirth in a new sport in which he maybe is on track to become the greatest of all time at. After his soccer career kind of flames out, him and his wife are watching football one Sunday. She says, you got a massive leg, Brandon. Why don't you just go try to do this? He goes to work 2-3 times a week for like 2-3 years, gets an opportunity in a lesser league, the XFL, UFL.
Yep.
USFL. He gets then he gets it in Dallas Cowboys, primetime every single week. This guy's going to rattle. This guy's going to crack. This guy's going to fizzle out again. No. Climbs the mountain to greatness. This guy might be the best of all time. Hits big-time kicks. Now he's going to go sit on a jury duty. He's going to have to sit through an entire trial. Now, the judge is a former football player back in his 70s.
That's right.
Okay, back in his 70s. Say he's going to work with Brandon Aubrey in his schedule. He's going to be able to work nights and weekends, obviously, on the football. During the days, though, his ass is mine, says the judge. He's going to have. It is not a sequestered trial, so that means jury will be able to go home at night, but they're not allowed to talk about what they did there. I watched that show Bull.
Yep, sure.
Which is allegedly about what Dr. Phil did before he became Dr. Phil, whenever he was invited on Oprah, yada, 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 the whole thing. So basically, the jury selection is such a massive piece of trial, is what I learned from the Bull episode. And there's so many different questions you're asked as somebody who's been summoned to this that you can answer and like kind of disqualify yourself immediately. Like any answer, they're looking for you to potentially be biased against the suspect or biased against the state, whatever it is. So there's so many things you're asked and do, and you get striked like, hey, we want this person removed. So for him to go through all the questioning and everything and get to the point where he is selected for the actual jury, not even like substitute replacement or whatever it is if something happens.
Yeah, there's a couple alternates, don't they usually have?
Yeah, is wild to think about.
Yeah.
Because at any point did Aubrey just think about saying, my brother's a cop. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you're out then.
See you.
So, like, any of those answers could go one way to kind of strike him from it all. Instead, he finds his way to the actual jury and is going to go through this trial. Good for him, serving society. Happy for it. But what if he starts missing kicks?
Then what?
Not good.
Oh, no.
It's all on the judge and the
What's
strangulation.
the case?
It's a strangulation case, I guess.
Third degree.
It is an assault.
It's supposed to be quick, right? I heard.
It is expected that he will return on Thursday and Friday, and also that the former football playing judge will work with Aubrey with his schedule. He doesn't have to hear this testimony.
No.
It's a bunch of jumbo. You can go get some kicks up. They're actually building an upright outside.
Yeah.
He's going to be kicking during the court case, have an earpiece in.
Nice.
We'll have a jumbotron behind the upright.
Sure.
It will have a solo live shot of court TV, pretty much.
That's cool.
Of the trials, everything.
That's cool.
He's able to buzz in if he has any questions for the judge or wants anything else. So they're really going up. And Texas is a football place.
Yeah.
You know, that's why they're doing that.
That's right.
Wild story. Don't really hear that. I don't think I've ever heard this before. Ever before. Have you?
No, you'd think. I mean, Jerry runs everything. This is one call he can't make. He can't get on. I mean,
Brandon wants to do it, though.
Yeah, he might just be one of those guys that's like, I want to be on jury duty. Like, there are people who actually want to be on a jury duty.
Oh, yeah. So I brought that up. I was like, nobody wants to do jury duty, right? They talk about like moving being miserable, being in jury is miserable.
Dentist.
It's like, I think as we've gotten more into the crime, being a dentist, obviously, as we get more into the crime podcast and like everything like that, the world murder mystery and court and all this shit, I think there are like some people that are like, oh, I would like to actually.
What do you think Bones said to him? He's got to be. It's like what the only
Special
bright
teams
spot
coordinator for Dallas
It's the only
Cowboys.
bright spot right now, right?
Yeah, our kicker's phenomenal. And he's like,
Really
actually,
good.
so phenomenal.
Bones got to be beside himself.
I am such a good person, actually, that I feel obligated. I'm not special. I'm a lot more special than my neighbor.
Just a regular guy.
I need to go serve in this jury. But Ty, you said there's maybe is some people that want to do the jury, not even people that are just interested in crime and everything like that. Just get out of work almost.
Yeah, I mean, if you hate your job, it's like, oh, you kidding me? I get 2 to 3 days off and not having to go into my office? Yeah, sign me up. Hopefully this thing lasts for 3 months.
I had an overweight friend back in the day who found out a girl had mono, and mono is one that you lose your weight. You know, you lose weight with because you can't eat. You're sick for a long time. You got to isolate. I had a friend that was a little heavier who found out a girl had mono, and he tried to suck face with her so he could lose his weight.
Sure. Okay.
So it sounds like those moves are made when people say, I'd rather do jury than do my job. Gumpy said up in the shipyard, people were seeking out to get summoned in for jury duty.
Oh, yeah, because they give you a hotel downtown, too, because you couldn't talk to anybody. Like, you weren't allowed to be around other people in jury duty. So you'd get, like, a month downtown and a month off from the shipyard, paid your full wages by the shipyard.
So these Delphi murder case that's happening right now, the trial, the jury, they're in a hotel. I don't think they have TV, or it's only approved TV, so it's just like probably movies and stuff like that. No phone calls. Only conversations they're allowed to have with loved ones is with a guard there. Obviously, I have no idea how long this is going to last.
It'd be awful. That would be terrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm
If you're
saying.
sequestered, if you're a sequestered jury like that.
Doesn't sound so bad.
Nick.
Get to watch movies all day? That's
Hang
what
out
I
and watch
heard.
movies all day?
Are you kidding me?
Sounds pretty good. Talk to anybody?
A lot of people would.
There's no way Canada has a real jury duty either. Like, we can't just. What are they debating?
How's it different,
What are you
Gump?
talking about?
Drink a liter of maple syrup. We're going to give him the death penalty, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Who stole my syrup, pal?
This is bullshit.
Do you guys all have to wear those wigs and shit?
No, that's
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
brother.
Yes, they do.
There's Mounties, though.
The Mountie Hunter. There's a horseback?
Yeah. There's Mounties in kind of.
In the jury?
No,
They got
not in the
Mounties
jury. In
the
certain
courtroom?
countries
Pooping in the
and
courtroom.
places,
Yeah.
they have Mounties.
That'd be sick if the judge was flanked by 2 Mounties.
That would be sick.
Okay, big news out of New Orleans. Alvin Kamara signs a extension with the Saints. There was a thought maybe that the Saints were going to move on from Kamara. Maybe he's getting shopped. Instead, staring down not a lot of cap room next year, they rework a deal to give him an extension, 2-year, $24.5 million. Congrats to Alvin Kamara and the New Orleans Saints extending their explosive relationship together. He's so good at football. He's so fast. That's why him getting traded was a real possibility in my eyes, because there'd be a lot of teams that want him. Obviously, the Saints say nobody wants him as bad as we do. I like this, AJ. Good for them. What does their future look like with or without him? I'm not sure, but I like the fact that he got rewarded here.
Yeah, we know their future feels very bleak if you move on from Kamara. He has been a mainstay, and he does stuff that not many people in the league can do, with how he can catch the ball out of the backfield and how he can make people miss. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't expect this to happen, but I'm glad that they did that, and I'm glad Kamara wants to be there.
Yeah, players getting paid at the building in the team that you perform well for, as opposed to just being great and getting traded out of town. It does set a little bit of a precedent. I think it is good for the organization as a whole. How's Coach feel down there, you think about it?
No, really good. They lost Shaheed, right, for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Olave's been out with a concussion. He'll probably be back, so they don't have many weapons. So this is a good sign by them.
Do you think it makes any statements, like about the team, where they are, what they are, everything like that?
Yeah, we're not tanking.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there's no, because they have that cap issue next year, right?
Yeah, like 70 mil.
Like in last year they had a cap issue.
Been really easy to move on. It gives those guys, because they're a little bit older on defense, right? They've got some issues on the defensive side. So those guys say, oh, shit, maybe they're not going to,
Yeah, maybe we are
ship
able
us
to
all
win.
out.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe there is a little bit of a good for Kamara, good for the Saints, good for Bryce Young. He's back in the lineup for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
An announcement was made yesterday. Andy Dalton, obviously in protocol, I think, actually after a car crash with him and his family.
Sprained thumb.
Sprained thumb.
His
Okay.
thumb, right? Yeah.
Sprained thumb after a car crash in with his family. Like that happened to Cam Newton when he was Carolina Panther quarterback as well. There's been other car crashes that have happened.
Yeah, Mark Andrews this year, I believe, in preseason got in a car accident.
And I think it's a nice reminder about like all humans as well, not just that football facility. Like, yeah, everyday life stuff can happen.
Yeah.
Every single day. Obviously, gets in a car crash. Happy his entire family's okay. That's good news. But this means Bryce Young back in the lineup. You think he learned anything from his time off? You think he has a new perspective? How do you feel about the Carolina Panthers putting Bryce Young in there, AJ?
I mean, they're forced to, obviously, because of the thumb situation. I would hope he has a little bit of, I don't know, maybe a different view of what the offense looks like or a different view of what he is supposed to do. But we'll see. I guess we will see. If he comes out and lights it up, then we'll say, hey, look at that. If the guy's struggling, sit him down for 3, 4, 5 weeks and then bring him back in.
Their line still the same?
Yeah.
Did they get some new linemen in there yet?
No, I don't think so.
They're 1-6, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, I'd just, hey, have fun, play free.
Okay.
Yeah, just let
There
it
ain't
rip.
there ain't no pressure right here.
Let it rip.
Just get in there and let it frickin' rip. Have
save.
some damn fun.
I think Bryce Young was doing it, right? Because I remember.
Stretch. Make sure
He
you're
didn't look
good
like he was
loose.
having fun.
No, but he was letting it rip, though. I mean, there was a couple times where he was taking good luck, Bryce.
Yeah.
Good luck. This is a big game for Bryce Young.
Yeah,
This is
it
a
is.
big game for Bryce Young.
He came in at the end of one of the other games where like they were getting blown out and they just were like, hey, go out there and have some fun. And he did throw like an absolute dime down the sideline. So maybe he does now just, hey, I'm just going to throw this thing where I think I'm supposed to. Maybe it works.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is not from the football world, but he's a legend from the baseball world. The World Series begins tomorrow. The Los Angeles Dodgers host the New York Yankees. Wow, star power, big city, big lights, big baseball. Big unit joins us now. Ladies and gentlemen, legend, icon, World Series champ, Randy Johnson. How you doing, man?
Good morning, everybody.
Randy, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously back with DirecTV. DirecTV still letting people watch without having to have big satellites. Shout out DirecTV, Randy. Good news, right?
And what better way to utilize those old satellite dishes than making bird ballparks out of them, and then I can make amends with the bird that I killed 23 years ago.
You're paying homage to it, obviously, and I
Exactly.
read.
And it's even gone the next level because the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown is going to have one there on display.
See, that's what I read, and I was about to say, you made this bird, go from dead.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Exploded.
Yeah.
Poof. Demolished.
David Carr.
Sniped. Bazookaed with a
Evaporated.
baseball.
Yep.
To now a Hall of Fame situation. Way to go, Randy. Way to come full circle on it. You're a good guy.
Next level.
Next level. Let's talk about next level. Dodgers, Yankees. This is good for baseball, right? When it's Dodgers, Yankees, big market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Well, I think, is it good for baseball? I think, there was a time where I think fans wanted to see an opportunity for their team to get to the World Series. And what you were seeing were the big market teams with the big payrolls getting there more often. So I think it's nice to see last year the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers, smaller payrolls, get to the World Series. And that happens because of the wild card, where you have more teams having an opportunity to get a chance to play to go to the World Series.
We thought the Detroit Tigers were potentially going to do that this year. The Cleveland Guardians obviously going a massive run.
Well, San Diego Padres had a great shot too.
Yeah, Padres as well. So there was a lot of those in the playoffs, and this postseason has delivered, Randy. This has been fantastic. What is your thoughts on how baseball is being played? It seems like big hits are happening in big moments. Pitchers obviously dealing in certain situations. Baseball's been electric. Do you agree? Is this high-quality baseball happening here in the postseason?
Absolutely. I've been watching more of the National League games, and I was watching the Mets series with Philadelphia, and you actually felt like the Cinderella team was going to be the Mets based on all their come-from-behind wins in Milwaukee and then Philadelphia. And unfortunately, their run came to an end, but I do watch more National League games than American League. I think it's going to be a great series. I think it's a given. Both teams have great offense, but I think it's really going to come down to the depth of the starting pitching and how well they pitch to neutralize the opponent's offense.
Yeah, the way you pitched back in the day, different than it is now. Ty actually has a question for you.
Yeah, in terms of that, Randy, how do you think this series will shake out? Obviously, both teams getting a massive layoff so they can kind of reset the bullpens. Both starters are going to be on multiple days rest. But we were looking at highlights from when you were playing against the Yankees in the World Series. I think you threw 18 innings over the course of 3 games. One of them, obviously, complete game shutout. 4-hitter, I think, in game 2, and then you throw 7 shutty or 7 1-run ball in your next appearance. But in terms of the Yankees and the Dodgers, do you think that we'll get these type of pitching performances from the starting pitchers? Obviously, Cole's going to be going, but it seems like this just doesn't happen anymore. It's kind of, hey, give us 4 or 5 good innings, even if it's an ace like Cole, and then the bullpen's going to have to kind of piece things together. Do you think there's any way that from the horses we're going to potentially get, a 7 or 8 inning game, or is it going to be a bullpen series?
I think that what you're seeing now in the playoffs is here to stay. More mixing and matching, and you try to get the most out of your starting pitcher, whether that's 3, 4, maybe 5 innings, and then you go to your bullpen, which now is the most organizations' strength, because they know that's the game that wins them ball games. And I just think that there's pitchers. You might see that tonight. If Cole is on, he might go 6 or 7 innings, but you just don't see that a lot anymore when it gets to the World Series. And that started a while back, where managers were going into the bullpen and trying to mix and match a little bit. And there's been a lot of games, if you watch baseball games, where they take the starting pitcher out, and then all of a sudden the offense opens up for the other team because that starting pitcher was neutralizing, doing his job, and then you took him out. And then all of a sudden now you're behind in the game because you went to your bullpen, what I believe is too early. Get the most out of your starting pitcher, and then you get closer to your closer. You don't bring in a long guy when you gotta take into consideration what is better out in your bullpen. If your starting pitcher is only giving up 2 hits and he's pitched 5 scoreless innings, why would you be going to the bullpen? What better is out there than what you don't already have on the mound?
Yeah, you're a little different. You're old school. And I think CeCe Sabathia actually told us that he wasn't handing the ball over to anybody but Mariano Rivera. He said, so whenever you were coming out to try to pull me, no offense to any of my teammates, I have massive respect, but this ball is not leaving my hand.
You just bridge the gap between you and the guy that needs to get the last 3 outs, I mean, it's not rocket science. They've been doing it for 150 years.
Go ahead, AJ.
Randy, making these decisions, obviously the managers, Dave Roberts for the Dodgers, and obviously Aaron Boone with the Yankees. Like, what do great managers do? A great manager that you played for, how do they separate themselves from others, and what are some things that they may do that casual fans might not even have any idea is going on?
Well, I think the mixing and matching of bringing in the bullpen. Roberts does that more with the Dodgers than I see the Yankees do that. But the game dictates that as well. I'm just a very firm believer. If your starting pitcher is out there and he is rolling and keeping you in the ball game, why do you take him out and then hope who you're bringing in is going to pick up where the starting pitcher is left off?
We got to save your arm, Randy. We got to save the arm,
Now, you get to the World Series, it's all about winning it. You know that. I mean, you get to a Super Bowl, you want to win it. You don't want to get there. It's a novel idea getting there. Hey, I just want to get to a World Series. And then when you're there, you want to win, obviously.
Okay, so let's talk about that, wanting to win, because there's a player who, baseball's been put on his back kind of. Now he's in a big moment. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Randy, with that being said, how do you feel about the conversation around Shohei pitching? It seems like, obviously, they're this close. They don't want to risk it. With the Tommy John surgery and, him coming back this late, is it worth it? But what's the process coming back from injury? I don't know if you've ever been injured. How would that process go with Shohei kind of gearing back up? And how much different would it be between him, getting ready in the bullpen, seeing if his arm's right, versus him actually in the game and, re-injuring it once again?
Yeah, I think, we're 7 games away from a team being a World Series champion. If I was ownership or manager or whatever, I would just, and with the Dodgers, I would just let him continue to be the offensive force that he's been for the Dodgers. And then I would go into spring training and see where he's at, and hopefully he can be a big part of the rotation next year. The Dodgers will be surely, an easy pick to win the World Series next year when they get all their starting pitchers back. Buehler is pitching now. I've seen him pitch a couple times in postseason, and he's going to be a big part of that. Glasnow, Dustin May, and then you got, I believe his name's Yamamoto, and then Ohtani's going to be there. That's like 3 or 4 aces one night after the next.
Yeah. Randy, when you're pitching in the World Series, does it feel different? For instance, Adam Vinatieri.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, so Adam Vinatieri, when he's kicking, and I got a chance to work alongside of him, and you're talking about a guy who has the capability of locking in, and I forget the baseball movie, but it says like mechanism engaged. It's maybe
Clear the mechanism.
Clear the mechanism or whatever it is, where a pitcher has to lock in. Kickers have to do the same exact thing. But Vinny was able, in practice, to almost put himself in a mental space where it felt like a game. But even him, when we got to the biggest moments, there was a different level of like intensity and focus in those things. For you, World Series, big moment pitcher, what's going through your mind? What are you trying to control? What are you not trying to control?
Well, I'm just trying to control what I'm capable of controlling, which I've been doing all year long. And you got blinders on at that point. You're not letting outside interference come into play. And, at that point, it's you're running on fumes, I think, that year was 2001. I had 240, 250 innings during the regular season. And then I made like 6 or 7 postseason starts with multiple complete games during that. So, and then, I pitched 7 innings in game 6, and I come back and pitch an inning and a third in game 7. I was running on fumes, but it's an adrenaline rush as well, and you try to use that to your advantage. And I was able to do that luckily, and we won.
So, what mentally do you have like things you say to yourself before a game, or is it just focusing on each pitch? What was your mental breakdown?
Well, we come into the ballpark knowing that I'm going to be starting the game. If it was a regular season game, postseason is at a whole different level. It's that regular season game's not so much under a microscope, or you're not so much in a fishbowl. You have 34, 35 starts, and naturally you're not going to, not all of them are going to be quality starts. And so you just kind of learn from those ones and file them away. But in the postseason, you don't have an opportunity to, pitch poorly. That game is the game that needs to be won, or you need to keep your team with the possibility of winning. And that's the tough part, because the human error comes into play. You make a bad pitch, or it could even be a good pitch, and it could be hit for a home run, and the team doesn't survive. That's why the first inning, the second inning for a starting pitcher is critical. The quicker you can get in the flow of the game and throw strikes and get outs, the better. If you're putting base runners on and the opposing team is scoring 1 or 2 runs in the first inning, you're already behind the 8 ball, because you don't even know if your offense is going to recover from that, because now you're facing their pitcher and their manager's going to manage accordingly. I'm winning the ball game. I'll take him out as soon as I see a sign of bad pitching.
Good to get started hot. Do you know if you're going to be pitching good in warm-ups? Like we asked this
no,
you do not.
There's been games where I thought I was lights out coming out of the bullpen, and I didn't last an inning.
It's gonna be a good night.
And then there's games where I couldn't throw a strike down in the bullpen, and I didn't know how this was going to go, and I pitched well. So, but you do want to be in the flow of the game, but there is an adjustment. When you're down in the bullpen, it's not always the same as when you get on the stadium mound. They try to replicate as well as they can at a home ballpark, but when you're pitching on a visiting ballpark, there might be, a big difference in the visiting bullpen to the stadium mound, so you're making adjustments. but you need to make those adjustments as quick as possible. I remember pitching a game it may have been 2000. I was pitching against Tom Glavine, and I gave up a home run, a solo home run in the first inning, and I ended up losing 1-0. And so that's what I'm saying, you gotta be locked in right away. And in the postseason, it's just magnified 10 times.
You're a dog, Randy. Absolute dog. Love hearing you chit-chat about your mentality. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's talk about the hat you're wearing there. Chuck Pagano has a question for you.
I was lucky enough 40 years ago, my coaching career, Randy, started at Southern Cal, so fight on. One of our players, outside linebacker, Jack Del Rio, he always told us he was the best catcher that ever caught for you. Is that true? And do you still have a relationship with Jack?
Well, I followed Jack when he was the defensive coordinator in Washington, and when he was, playing his playing days. And I'm not sure if he's still coaching or doing anything with the NFL. But Jack back there, he was a big target, and and I knew, more importantly, during my college days, I was super wild. So hitting somebody by accident was always a great possibility. So knowing that there was a linebacker, All-American linebacker for my catcher, he wasn't the hitter wasn't going to get too close to me.
Yeah, it's good news. You got protection out there. A little bit of dust up pops up, no problem. I got it all figured out. Randy, we can't thank you enough for joining us on this glorious Thursday. How do you see the World Series going? Do you want to make a prediction or no? Do you do that?
Well, I mean, I just think the Dodgers, have the same offense as the Yankees, maybe even more so. And I think they have a little bit more pitching depth in the starting rotation and in their bullpen. And if it goes anything like it has, where their bullpen has been pretty solid for the most part, I don't want to get Yankee fans too riled up, but I would have to lean towards the Dodgers only because the first two games are in LA as well.
Okay, so Randy,
but a lot depends on Cole pitching tonight, and he's got to pitch well.
Okay, all right. So there are some things obviously that can change.
Oh yeah, no, Cole is their ace, and they have Flaherty pitching for the Dodgers, and so I like that matchup. And I'll take the Yankees tonight to win.
Okay. So Yankees tonight, Dodgers overall. How about do we have any more photo safaris coming? Any more photo museums happening?
Well, I have a coffee table book that will be released in spring of 2025, April next year. It's called Experiencing Africa, and so I'm looking forward to that. I'm still recovering from my full knee replacement surgery. In fact, I got to have another surgery on Wednesday.
Godspeed.
And so I haven't done much traveling or much photography, but I'm looking forward to getting off the disabled list and coming out of the bullpen next year.
Okay, well, we can't wait to see you make that run. If the day after that surgery, you'd like to pitch me some balls, though, I would like to take, the big unit yard. Get them with one leg, no leg. Randy, you're the man.
Sure.
I appreciate the hell out of you.
My pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Jonesy. Takes good photos.
Oh, yeah.
You think you're hitting him? He'd be laying in a hospital bed. He doesn't need his legs. He's still throwing it 85.
Yeah, but at least that's my best shot. That's my best shot.
Yeah.
Gives
you a little slider at you.
Well, he had one knee done, and he says he's doing the other one, too, so he's got no knees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For at least a little bit. He says he's coming out of the bullpen in the spring. I agree. Randy Johnson's going to figure that out, and he's going to get through rehab and recovery. But if he's got a full knee coming, has another full knee, now's the time to get him in, if you want to hit him.
He's vulnerable. He's vulnerable right now. Yeah.
Now's the time to maybe get in the batter's box if you can hit one off the big unit. God, imagine them rolling him out there. Mm-hmm. He does sit down.
He threw a perfect game at 40 years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's a dog. How about him saying, I pitched 231 innings at that point, I think. And it was like, well, Randy, that's why they're doing all the, but you're a competitor. What are you going to do? Try to get the ball to the closer. Mm-hmm. It's not that hard. That's such an old school mindset. Load management in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
And then with analytics coming into baseball, doing the whole thing. Like, we very rarely see a full game. I mean, the Paul Skeens experience this year, they were stopping him like sixth inning regardless. He had
he's on a pitch count pretty much. I mean, they said he wasn't, but, it's all about, hey, we need to make sure that this guy has a long, fruitful career.
It's interesting, AJ, because what if Paul Skeens is a guy like Randy Johnson, who just I get better actually.
And most pitchers are like that. Like they're a little bit nutty. Like guys do, you see the clips all the time of like the manager coming out and the pitcher's like motherfucking him, saying like, no, go back to the dugout. Like I want the ball. I mean, it's a weird situation.
Yeah, but everybody's smarter than everybody these days.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Remember, what did he say? We've been doing this for 100 years.
150 years.
Like, yeah, we're smarter now, though, Randy, which we are. I think you can, see some trends, and if you do this amount of pitches, this is probably going to happen to your body. It's natural for your human body to do that. I get that. But what if the guy is never going to become the pitcher that he could have become because the way that he gets better is testing his body all the way to the limit? Like, I had to take a lot of reps kicking wise. If I'd be kicking in this modern era, I genuinely don't think I would be able to make it mentally because I'm not stopping at 25 hits or 30 hits if that fucker isn't going far. Okay? We are going to figure this out. And maybe the more tired I get, that's how I focus in more.
Lock in.
Like that is, that is how I viewed it. And once again, I don't think it's right analytically. And they told me that's not right analytically. And you wasted, and maybe your knee surgeries don't happen. It's like, yeah, but do I ever get to the point where I'm hitting those bombs without doing that? I don't think so. So we saved the knee surgery, but we never have a career. So
what are we talking about here?
What do we go with? Like, and I think there's some wide receivers in the NFL that probably like, hey, I need to run like a lot, and they're like, well, you can't because your hamstring's gonna go. It's like, whose hamstring? My hamstring or somebody else's hamstring?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know if it's my hamstring or is it everybody's hamstring? So it's a good place for analytics to come in, but I think it's potentially holding some people back, helping a lot of people too, for sure. But it sounds like Randy Johnson would have been impossible to. Randy Johnson doesn't become Randy Johnson in this particular
all those guys
era.
were like that.
Yeah,
like he pitched with Schilling. Schilling went.
Nolan Ryan,
Schilling had
remember
3
that guy?
starts in that World Series. Randy Johnson had 2. Like all of the Clemens, like all those guys in that era, like they
Pedro.
all. That's what they all did.
Yeah, pitching on short rest and throwing a bunch of pitches.
Baumgartner, like that was
just
more
the way
recent,
it was.
So whenever you're tired, and I don't know pitching, but for kicking it is, you have to lock in more. So like your technique gets almost even better. So I assume Paul Skeen says, yeah, I'm tired, but also I have different pitches when I'm tired too, because things are coming in a little differently. Yeah, I don't want to get into it. Analytics people are good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good.
Because the kids come up with a plan already because they've thrown 17 billion innings by the time they're in 7th grade. That's the problem.
And that's the thing about Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens was a catcher. He wasn't even a pitcher.
Yep.
So he didn't even start that till later in his life. So let's let the kid pitch.
Yeah. I mean, how about baseball? Football season, we're talking baseball. It's pretty awesome.
World Series.
Baseball's going right now.
World Series
Whole
happening.
playoffs have been
I don't like
sweet.
that we've had this amount of break of days.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because baseball every night was delivering for us there for like a good week and a half.
Both series only went 5 games. So that's kind of like there was an extra 4 days. I mean, I think it would have been maybe 2 days off that we would have had, but quick series, both AL and NL.
That starts tomorrow. The NBA, obviously, in the middle of its tip-off week. Hockey is dominating, and football kicks off. It's week 8 of the NFL season this evening in Los Angeles as the Vikings travel to take on the Rams on Amazon Prime. Chuck Pagano is 6-1 against the spread. We'll give his pick on the other side on YouTube, ESPN Plus, and TikTok Live. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be live from Bloomington. The boys will be here. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Oh my God! You talk about.
I think that was a good send-off for you.
Got it.
Good
Hitting
tease,
them
too.
out.
Mm-hmm. How about a little tease there about Chuck?
So,
6-1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're incredible.
No,
I
not.
don't know how you do it. I start to see that deal coming down, and
This
it's
is
like,
just like
this
actual-
some bitch is fixing to hit another one out the park.
Actual hosts have to do it a lot more because they do it a lot more commercial breaks. We only have one commercial break an hour, which is kind of a radical change to the marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've
I'd
been
say.
through the 8 to 10 breaks an hour already.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, those were no fun. Those are no fun.
No.
So shout out to all the hosts out there that actually have to do that every single time and don't give themselves a pat on the back every time they do it. But I'll tell you, every time I hit it, I feel like a real professional.
Yep.
I feel like a real professional. All right, let's take a break. Big thanks to Randy Johnson for joining us. Tyrese Haliburton, obviously, answering a nice cold call. Hey, we should call Haliburton. We can talk NBA real quick.
Might as well.
Answers it. Looks
Never
cool.
trick-or-treated. Never trick-or-treated.
Crazy.
Too
I
busy.
wanted to
getting
ask him
jumpers.
why.
So he doesn't even know.
Why the dad did it? Was he scared
Yeah,
to
what
death
was it?
something was going to happen?
I assume we're.
Didn't eat candy.
Yeah, they're not dicking around, dressing up,
I don't know.
going to
I
take
didn't
some
want
shots.
to be honest, I didn't want to dig into a traumatic combo.
Was it? You think it was traumatic? You think it's traumatic for
Sound
him
like it.
still?
Still talking about it.
I went to school with 2 kids who weren't allowed to trick or treat because of their religion.
Yeah, there's definitely different
You guys
religions where they
bully
don't.
the shit out of them.
No, whoa.
They did grow up to be weirdos, but
Well, it's the
you
same
can't
ones
draw a
as-
straight line. There might have been
Stories
some
I've
other
heard about
things.
it.
Do I know these people?
You know one of them, yeah.
Yeah. Certain religions don't you can't, you don't have a birthday, you don't celebrate anything.
So isn't
Yeah.
so Halloween, Hallows Eve, some shit
associated with like the devil and stuff like that.
Some Christian people, I think, have gone to full extremes. So Halloween is the representative celebration.
Well,
of the
Going to
devil.
Duquesne was awesome because it was a Catholic school, so the day after Halloween was always off.
Okay, so that doesn't sound anything like what I just said.
No, Not real? it was-
Some
yeah.
people did say though.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I think like regular Catholicism,
sort of-
not so much, but some of like the kind of more stringent offshoots of Catholicism, like it's
celebration of the devil, brother.
Exactly.
I'm like, wait a minute, I'm getting free candy, having a good time.
Right.
Just trying to dress
All
up.
Saints Day, the day after.
My grandson Bear's 4 today. So happy birthday, Bear! Shout out to Bear.
Wait,
hey,
is it
but he
October
don't get
24th?
candy
Every fucking time, dude.
Happy birthday, Bear!
Give him the claw.
It's October 24th.
Happy birthday, Bear! It is October 24th, isn't it? It's Bear's birthday.
Oh shit!
He has not had sugar.
Sorry, what?
What?
No sugar.
Wow.
But he gets
That's a
trick or
decision.
treat. He gets to fill that bag up, and then I don't know what happened to the bag. He never gets to see it.
Is he eating
Never
fruits?
gets-
Is he eating
But
fruits?
he
Eat
gets to
fruits
go-
though?
Huh?
Fruits like
Oh,
blueberry,
absolutely.
raspberry, stuff like
But
that.
they're all like
Yeah, he's a bear.
gluten free and all that stuff. Healthy as
Coach, that's on you. You got to give him treats.
Yeah,
you
you're
got to
great.
give him
Yeah.
candy.
If I snuck him something,
Grandpa,
like
yeah, that's what
babysit, like
grandparents
Pop,
do.
he calls me Papa. Pop. If I snuck him, he'd rat me out.
What a narc! Italian?
No, Chuck.
He's an Italian?
Doesn't
My,
sound
my,
like
your
youngest,
job.
my youngest daughter, Tori, would break him down. He'd just succumb to it. He'd be like, put him on the stand. He's
That's
done.
Connie football.
Poor. No,
No, that's not Connie. Connie's older sister. It was her birthday a couple weeks ago, obviously. Happy birthday to Constance.
September 26th.
Happy birthday to Bear, October 24th.
Did you hear Gump? Every fucking time. Shut up.
Every fucking week
Are
it's
you
somebody's
kidding me?
goddamn birthday, dude.
He knows a lot of people.
Hey,
Keep it up,
why
Chuck.
you got to fucking hate? You got Tua back.
Yeah,
That's right.
I'm
You guys
juiced up.
You guys
I'm
make
juiced
keep
up.
within 2 scores now.
You didn't. The Doll fam did not deserve that.
We're gonna beat the shit out of the Cardinals.
Oh, I don't know. Kyler.
Strike up the band, brother.
Well, Tyreek's trying again, so that's cool.
He is. Love to see it.
So
The vibes are unbelievable with the team right now.
Watching Tyreek in person last week in the Lighthouse, you forgot he was even on the team. And then he'd pop in, it was like, oh, there's an appearance from Tyreek, and then he'd leave, and then nothing. It's like, the guy was on pace for 2,000 yards last year. People are saying he's the number one. He was the number one football player in the world, voted on by the NFL players.
Yeah.
And then over the last few weeks, non-existent in any conversation or stat book, really. And then now Tua's going to be back, and we all just assume the same thing, right?
Yeah, and
Tyreek's about to go for 150.
People will still try and tell you that Tua's not good at football as well.
Are we just okay for him disappearing for that length of time?
No.
I guess so.
I mean,
guess
with
we
the
are.
like these other coaches lose players and they figure it out. How do we do that?
Yeah, I don't.
And how does he get a pass down there for like, okay, you guys just take we can't throw a football. We can't do this. We can't. So
We
all of a
fucking
sudden,
couldn't,
the best
dude.
player
Did you
on the
watch?
best player on the planet, we can't even get him a ball. Hand him jet sweep. Throw
We
him some
tried it,
screens.
dude. Fumble got kicked out of bounds. And then, if you watch the fuck every game, they tried. They couldn't do shit.
They were very inept offensively.
And that guy's
Impossible,
supposedly
the
big
worst.
brain, McDaniel, like big brain.
Too
right?
big of a brain, maybe.
Yeah.
That's nobody understands his offense other than Tua. Remember the Hard Knocks with the Miami Dolphins. Tua learning the offense was a massive piece of the entire thing. So whenever you have a backup quarterback in there, now granted, who did they? Who was supposed to? You guys had Mike White last year, right?
They cut him.
Yeah, he was terrible in preseason. Should have kept him. I mean,
Maybe Tim Boyle.
could have brought in Jimmy G, who knew the system. Would have been sweet.
They told me that Tim Boyle. There was no way the stat was right.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
it
know
was
exactly
right,
what you're talking
brother.
about.
His college touchdown to interception ratio.
Yes.
And then his NFL record.
Yep.
How's that guy have a job?
Well,
there's theories.
He's a backup for one guy.
Yep.
What theories?
There it is. You know it, AJ.
AJ knows what it is.
He's friends.
Let's get to a break.
So
He knew about the
Friends
What's
of
that
the
mean?
Get to a break.
regular.
We
on
will
this
get to
program.
a break, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what happened, but I'm sure it's something you should do your own research.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for Chuck Pagano's pick on the other side. Guy's been hot.
Yeah.
A lot of moxie in that little graphic today.
Quite a lot of it.
Him and Dirty disappear for a few minutes. They come back, and all of a sudden we got Mobster.
Yep.
Great little promo.
It is great. Oh.
I see, Chuck.
We ride on that pony. Nice salute, good look, good stare down. As if there was like a Mafia Olympics happening.
Yeah. The head is shimmering in the light.
From the Pagano family. Charles, younger brother of Constance, Grandpa Bear, in the velour jumpsuit, the most Italian at the Italian Fest, Charles E. Pagano. Oh, Chucky Football, what are you going to do for us today? And then you come in and say, I'm going to cook a book better than anybody else has ever cooked a book before.
Got a couple things.
Got a couple ideas, couple bets, couple spreads I like.
Couple sauces. Couple things.
Couple gravies, little mozzarella. Got some fucking donuts for you guys to get diabetes.
I think we got a plan for the sauce, homemade sauce and meatballs this season.
Huh? Really? You broke down your entire recipe. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Broke down the entire recipe, the timing in which it takes. Oh, I love doing the... Can't wait for it. We're lucky you're here. Can't wait to hear who you're picking. AJ, you know who you're picking already, or have you waffled?
I have a pretty good idea, but I always like to take whatever Chuck says into consideration.
All right, we'll do that on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Take 5!
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
I've never taken a back seat to anybody and don't plan on starting now. Purdue sucks. But so does Michigan in Ohio State. Get over you.
The Rose Bowl has a lot of tradition. People that follow football, for me and the team, it's more of a business trip. Whether we're playing in the Rose Bowl or in a parking lot, it's all the same. 2 times we were picked next to last. In 2022, we won the conference championship. And in 2017, we inherited an 8-45 team and won 8 in a row and played JMU the last game of the year for the conference championship. Now, I'm not into making predictions. That's just a historical fact.
Do we like the NCAA?
When you can hide behind a committee, like I wish when I was asked, like, why did you punt? I could say my subcommittee recommended I punt. Take charge and lead, leader.
Congratulations, Coach.
No. We're only halfway through the race, bro. And I like to get to the hotel as late as possible. I don't like spending a lot of time in a hotel. And we'll get there, feed them, maybe have a quick meeting in the evening and get up and play. My weight guy and my director of football ops, they've got all these designs. Go out Thursday, this is what you got to do. No. We ain't doing that, guys. So, we're going to get there as late as possible. We're going to wake up and we're going to play the game and we're going to come back. That's what we did. We got to the hotel about 8 o'clock at night, ate our meal, went to bed, woke up, played 3:30, kicked their ass, and came home.
There is a crowd of about 30 people moving through the back end of the business field here. And in the middle of it is this black Samoan man who has become the most famous human on earth.
Great guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. There's thousands of people skipping class to come see your big ass.
Listen, there is thousands and thousands of you skipping class. It doesn't matter if they go to class.
Moana is one of the best animated films of all time.
What?
Okay, can't wait for the live action.
Thank you, yes.
But
You're welcome.
We talk about Moana.
What can I say except you're welcome?
And we talk about Moana.
Honestly, listen, kid, I could go on and on. I could explain every natural phenomenon. The tide, the grass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around. I couldn't even buried its guts. Sprouted a tree, now you got coconuts. What's the lesson? What does it take away? Don't mess with Maui when he's on a breakaway. And the temperature here on my skin is a map of the victories I win. Look where I've been to make everything happen. Look at the me, Maui just tickety-tapping. That's it.
Still got it.
On the Samoan side, Polynesian side, we have a word called mana. Mana is spirit. Mana is power. Mana comes from in here. It's the thing that gives you goosebumps. It's that thing you feel. It's that thing when I walked out and we felt this thing. This is mana. This is mana.
It's very, very, very real, and you could feel it. Mwah. Little things like I don't get driven anywhere. I don't want to get driven anywhere. I don't like chauffeurs. Keeps me in my way just a little grounded. Like I could drive myself everywhere and not telling some guy, hey, take me here, take me there.
That is something I'm going to start saying, like, yeah. Because when they open your door, you feel so bad. I can open my own door, dude. They're trying to be courteous. It's their job. But also, the day I stop opening my own door is the day I become a big old bitch.
Here we go.
That's a big cup.
Sorry, Mike. Here's the iconic sound. You guys know it. This special Terramana toast goes out to Passion. Congratulations on your show. Very proud of you. Very proud of all you boys. And to all of you, love you guys. Thank you for the support. Keep kicking ass. Cheers. In my world, when I sit down and we're talking about movies and all this other shit, it's never this. It's never this, back with the boys, and you. So I appreciate it, and this one's to you. Thank you, boys.
See you, pal. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers. All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break here.
Oh, hold on, one more. If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up, they start shaking it, they go, whoa. Hey, what things are going good, Yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis.
Okay.
Hey. Yeah, Boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of Boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able What sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. 19. You're headed right for the boat. Right now? For the boat. Okay, let's do it. We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do. That's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! A lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair.
It was like 5 feet. I was standing there. That's full commitment, by the way.
All right, here we are on the NFL Pro homepage. Let's step into the film room. Show you how quickly, how easily we can find any play from any week. This is week 2. Find a play result. Interceptions, of course. One of the best interceptions I've seen ever. Not the one against Tua. Let's go to Cam Taylor-Britt. Gives Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to pick which camera angle we want, broadcast or sideline. I'm going to go with the broadcast view. It's just a quick, easy example of how quickly you can use this NFL Pro tool. Awesome, awesome tool. I mean, unbelievable interception. Let's go, baby.
Dublin, Ireland on this Feel Good Friday, August 23rd, 2024. We are live from J.R. Mahin's.
Drinks are on Pat McAfee tonight, fella. Let's go!
Hop, 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 hop. The fact that anybody knows we exist in Ireland, we are so incredibly thankful. So to all of you, we say, Gotcha!
I just want Kirk to know I got 1,000 phone calls when we got in the playoffs. He didn't have anything to do with them not getting in the playoffs, and I didn't either. But we both got hammered.
Some of us did get hammered last night. We have real football happening today for the first time in months. This is a beautiful time in a wonderful town.
It's fight night, baby!
Travis is his name.
We gotta go for Georgetown. I gotta go. I would be back in the country if I didn't pick Georgetown. 44 yards away to do it. He got it! He got it! And the Yellow Jackets did it! Hey!
Why?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You ping!
Stutter! Damn it!
Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this magical NFL Week 8 kickoff Thursday, October 24th, 2024. Hour 3 starts now.
Football
is awesome. That's A.J. Hawk. He's a football champion both in college and in the NFL. Whoa. All-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
Wow.
Yeah, the Green Bay Packers are one of the most storied franchises in the history of just football.
Yep.
History of ball.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's ever tackled more people in a Packers uniform than this guy right here.
Crazy.
That's nuts.
Wow. Holy shit.
Legend.
Can't forget it.
0 documented concussions. Big news in the concussion world. Tua's back this weekend. AJ, you jacked up about it?
I am. I love how Tua's not sitting there trying to explain to everyone every intricate detail of why he's coming back either.
You wearing a Guardian cap?
Nope. Personal choice.
All right. See you guys next time. That's literally how Tua has been handling this whole thing. And Gumpy even has let it slip out of his mouth. Boy, I hope nothing happens to Tua.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how we all feel about this particular game.
Yeah.
We hope nothing happens to Tua. We understand why he made the decision to come back and play. We knew that he was going to make the decision to come back and play if a doctor said he was good to do that. We just hope that he never has to make that whole decision again. That is what we're all hoping for. And if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, you're hoping that the offense just picks right back up to where it was because, boy, it has been inept, to say the least, through it all. We talked about it during the break because Chuck, 36 years as a football coach, 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. So, wisely said, so down in Miami, you get a quarterback hurt, and then all of a sudden you have no offense, and then it's just like, yeah, it's okay, no big deal. They'll pop back in, and they'll be great. You just kind of got to wave the white flag for 4 weeks or so. They did trade for Snoop Huntley. It did not work out, and you guys knew and accepted it, right? That's how Dolphins fans kind of just felt about it?
Yeah, it wasn't pretty. There was nothing really. They kind of tried what they could try. They started pounding the rock the game they won against the Patriots. They pounded the rock against the Colts, but then they fumbled it twice. Like, if they don't fumble, they probably win that game against the Colts.
Got the Cardinals this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Cardinals conversation is an interesting one, too. It's like, will Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. get on the same page or what? Kyler's going bananas. Kyler's running all over the place, playing good football. He's seeking to win first back-to-back or whatever in a long time. There's a lot of things happening in Kyler's world where, maybe this is the year Kyler does become that quarterback that we've all expected him to become. He has showcased it. He's taken on a little bit more of a leadership role, I think, if you listen to him talk and the way people talk around him. And he was asked about him and Marvin Harrison Jr. and he really not being able to link up thus far how we all imagined. Here was his answer.
I think when you are one of those guys, like his mentality and his expectations of himself are always going to remain the same. Like that's nothing that I can do. Anything that y'all write about, like that's not going to affect the way he feels like he should be playing the game or wants to play the game. But at the same time, no, I don't think we've even scratched the surface of what we can be. And I know it's frustrating for fans and it's frustrating for us too, because I want him to have 10 catches a game, 100 yards a game. Like we all want that, But again, it takes time, it takes work, and that's what we're striving to be great. And I believe we'll get there.
There's a few clips that have hit the internet after games where Marvin Harrison Jr. is open.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was trying to create the narrative. Kyler's not trying to give him the ball. Kyler doesn't want Marvin Harrison Jr. to be successful. I reached out to Darius J. Butler, friend of the program, obviously, a guy who hosts the program. He's also part of NFL Matchups. I said, what's going on with Marvin Harrison Jr.? He said, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be an incredible wide receiver for a long time, but he needs talent around him. His style of wide receiving, he's a possession guy. He's going to be on third down guy. He's going to be able to make the catches that are tough. He has a huge catch radius, just like Larry Fitzgerald. I think Larry Fitzgerald potentially a little bit more explosive down the field, but if you need a possession, you need to have other weapons, so it opens it up a little bit. Is there a possibility that is the case? Do we think Marvin Harrison Jr. gets going, AJ? What are your thoughts on the relationship between he and Kyler? Because it didn't sound like that Kyler was choosing for Marvin Harrison Jr. to not be successful.
No, and a quarterback would never choose for that. And sometimes it's tough for a quarterback, too, if you have a stud receiver that, whether they bring him in as a free agent or they're a rookie, like people expect him to have 10 for 100 every game and a touchdown or two, and that's just not always going to be the case. So, yeah, when you can't force it, though. Like, you can't force the ball into windows that aren't there. If he is open at times, yeah, we all have been able to pause the film, sit in our air-conditioning room and say, oh, look, this guy's open here, and there's 7 dudes in his face. You can't see it. Like, there's a lot that goes on, but I think eventually it'll be fine. But every receiver needs like complementary players around him. And I guess as time goes, the Arizona will develop that. But also, I think this year, they're gonna get on the same page, like on a consistent basis eventually this year.
I think so too. Just from watching Marvin Harrison Jr. in person, he's a Sunday guy. He's an NFL guy.
Freak.
He's an NFL guy. Obviously, they're running an NFL offense, so you assume it'll work out inevitably. But he's a vastly different wide receiver than like Malik Neighbors, like the guys that are just like scorchers. It's like we're working. So anytime you have 6 eyes, potentially, or 4 eyes on that side, it's easier to kind of take out of the game. Even if he is open, hopefully they're able to get him the ball. But Kyler Murray at one point said, that's not my job. Now, that was a part of a full answer where he was saying, I got to play, I got reads, I got other things to do. It's not my job just to specifically look for one person. So all those things are feeding a narrative that, like, Kyler doesn't want to get him a rock. Now, outside noise obviously can't affect the inside operation. Coach Gannon, what do you think his messaging to Kyler, Marvin Harrison Jr., the offense, the defense is about this particular relationship? Because it is loud. Anytime Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't go crazy, it gets very loud. How do you think Coach Gannon handles that?
You just got to keep practicing, and you're going to have a breakout game. And we don't even know what the defense, like, he's going to draw the best corner every week, right? They're going to put a guy on him, put a guy over the top. So we don't even know from a defensive standpoint, to your point about having other weapons. So he's got to tell him, hey, just keep working. It's like when you're in the back end and you're not getting any interceptions, right? And you're in a slump. It's sometimes the harder you try, the worse it gets. So you just got to let this thing happen organically. It's going to happen over time, and they're going to have a breakout game at some point, and then get the thing clicking.
I love the way Kyler's playing.
Yeah,
he's pulling away from people.
Yeah, flying.
I knew he was fast. I knew Kyler was fast.
Very fast.
But he's very fast. And obviously top 10 in baseball, right?
Yep.
#1 overall pick in the NFL. This guy has been supremely athletically talented since he was just a little baby boy. But going against other supremely athletically talented people, he's pulling away.
Yeah.
He's getting the edge. He's added an element to his game this year that seemingly has him in a much better position than he'd been in the past. Kyler Murray being great at football is good for football.
Yeah, incredible. And then you think about what Orlovsky told us, how like Kyler told him in their little pregame, meeting before they called the game Monday night, like, hey, I need the ball more. Like, I want the ball more. It's like we could see Kyler just go bananas the rest of the way here, and Marvin might find his way too.
I'm not going to say Kyler had this mentality, but some people said he was like too cool. Kyler's too cool. He was the best athlete, obviously picks things up easily, can make massive plays anytime he wants to, can make massive throws. But is he a guy who's going to be like quarterback in the NFL? Like, are you going to be face a franchise? Feel like he's got to a point where he realizes, hey, we got to win. I got to do shit. We need to tighten up. We need to go ahead and do this, or this is how my career is going to be talked about.
Yeah.
You know, like this is what it's going to be. Kyler doesn't want that. Kyler's one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Yeah.
He doesn't want that to be the convo. Maybe there's a different locked-in mentality, too, out of Kyler.
Speaking of, the internet does not forget. Call of Duty comes out today or tonight or tomorrow, one of the two. And,
today.
Yep. And Kyler jokes were flying today.
Oh, yeah.
I think that kind of stuff adds a chip on. It's like, you know, he knows how explosive and how good he is, too. It's like, all right, you motherfuckers can keep saying all this stuff because everyone made such a big deal when the contract stuff happened. But, like, when he's in the zone and when he's playing, like, it's also, you know, in terms of Marvin Harrison not getting the ball, like, he can't really just sit back there in the pocket and just wait for Harrison to get open because he's the best athlete on the field. So it's like, hey, guess what? If he's not, yeah, exactly. And, you know, the farther down he gets, it's like, if I can't see him and if he's not open, like.
That's just a part of it. That's reality of the situation.
Exactly.
Kyler is not as tall as everybody else.
Right.
So, like, there's going to be some places where not perfect for him, but he's going to be able to do shit that tall people.
I'm going to take off and get 55 yards and we'll be in
Do you
the red
remember his
zone.
rookie year? He hit that stutter step on a guy.
Yeah.
It's like we completely forgot about what his legs are. Top three in league in this entire thing. He's showcasing that a little bit. But there are some deficiencies that come there, and that's when he's standing in a pocket, a 6'3", 315-pound offensive lineman is potentially going to block his view. So the throwing lanes are going to have to be kind of designed and figured out, and he's going to have to do that. So Marvin Harrison probably going to have to figure that out as well. Like, hey, I got to get an eyesight, even though if the route is this. So they'll sort it. They'll sort it over there, right?
Yeah.
Will it be this weekend against the Dolphins?
Maybe.
Will it be this weekend against the Miami Dolphins?
Not against
Good luck
that
catching him.
defense. That defense
Who's going to
is
spy
cooking.
him? Who's going to spy him?
Jordan Brooks, maybe.
Great player.
I mean, don't do it. That surprised me what the Chargers did on that play. Khalil Mack dives underneath, and then they're going to wrap, and the D tackle doesn't wrap around, and they give him that edge. Like, he's a nightmare for a
He's
defensive
so
coordinator.
quick.
He's a nightmare. See him dive underneath and give up contain. You can't do that against this kid. And I'm sure the D tackle was supposed to wrap around. Because now if they're playing man coverage, they're playing match coverage, all the backs are turned. You got one guy left to try to take an angle. Good luck.
See ya.
I'm not playing man against Kyler. I don't want to be playing man against
hell
Kyler.
no. You need zone eyes.
Jogging
Great
from
point.
the 20 in.
No, you got to have faith in your corners. Yeah. Got to have faith in your corners. Go man against Kyler. That's what Kyler wants.
No, everybody underneath got their back turned, and Kyler all of a sudden runs up your back in the end zone as you're chasing the tight end.
That's like you would never play two-man, right? Two-man at like athletic quarterback, Peyton against Peyton,
Done.
statues, Brady. Yeah, they're two-man all day. But these type of dudes?
No way.
No, sir.
Can't do it. He will, in our blind side, actually catch us.
Yeah.
And then he'll run by you.
Yep. See ya.
And you're going, what are we doing? I love the videos of wide receivers acting like they're when the person's running right behind them.
It's like the
Jackson
fake.
Smith
It's
and
like the
Jake
fake punt. You don't force the kick with two guys.
Yeah.
And everybody just turn, and you're going middle return.
Great feel.
And the guy's jogging behind your whole return unit just as fast as you.
It's awesome.
What are you guys doing? The punter's got the ball.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's perfect setup. And if you do that to Kyler, Kyler can go.
Yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigba did that against the Giants, and Geno Smith ran for like 40 yards because he started running, and the safety probably would have went up, and it would have been a 10-yard gain or whatever, but Jackson Smith and Jigba running down the seam, like screaming for the ball like this, and Geno had like a 30, 40-yard run on it.
I mean, it sucks for the corner because he's doing the right thing. What are your reads? His eyes. When his eyes get big, ball's coming.
Hands go up.
Hands go up. Late hands. His wide receiver's got late hands. When his hands go up, the ball's coming. So eyes get big, hands go up. All of a sudden, corner's like, oh shit, I'm out of position. And then at what point do you... Why are his eyes so big still? I
was going to say.
Why is he
Where's the ball?
Why is this ball ever coming down?
Geno Smith throw it 95 yards? Maybe he can.
Because man under, you're a yard behind, a yard inside. Look at the hip. Oh, he's still going. So that's what I'm doing.
No shot. Kyler Murray's walking right past you. All right, let's talk about tonight's matchup.
Ooh.
It is a big one.
Huge.
We got a team that was undefeated until last weekend on Thursday night. That's good news for Herbie. That's good for Al Michaels, Kaylee Hartung, Big Witt, Carissa Thompson, Tony Gonzalez, Fitzmagic, Sherm, the whole team over there at Amazon who does a fantastic job every Thursday night. They got a good one here. Couple gunslingers, couple offenses that can produce. And they got some players now that are considered game wreckers. Vikings favored by 3. Chuck is 6-1 on Thursday nights against the spread. So let's get into his diagnosis of said game. Let's talk about some of these game records, Chuck. If you were coaching both of these teams, who are the guys you'd be spotlighting saying, hey, these sons of bitches can't be the ones that beat us because they are the ones that are the best on their team? Let's start with the Rams, shall we, Chuck?
Well, this quarterback, number one, right?
Matthew Stafford.
Jesus Christ.
Of course.
Is good. And in clutch situations, and he hasn't had a bunch of guys to work with, they're going to lean heavily on this running back, Kyron Williams. The good news is he's a good back, right? Mm-hmm. The bad news is the Vikings are number 2 in the league against the run.
Yeah,
so
that's been big.
It's going to be really, really hard. Plus, this offensive line for the Rams, it's been a turnstile offensive line. I mean, they've had guys. They've got a rookie center, and he's going to have to deal with B-Flow, and they get in third and long against B-Flow in this blitz package. Good luck. So they're going to have to lean on this guy. Tutu Atwell has been their go-to guy since Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp have been out. Now, they say, Kupp's going to be back. Lombo mentioned Puka. They opened his 21-day window. We'll see. I'm thinking Cooper Kupp's going to play, but Tutu's he's a guy you can hand the ball on jet sweeps, throw it down the field to him, throw it underneath to him, hit some wide receiver screens. He's going to have to play really good.
Okay, how about on the defensive side of the ball for the Los Angeles Rams? Who's a game record?
They've struggled. They've got a new defensive coordinator, first-year coordinator, Chris Shula, the grandson of the great
Dahn
Shula.
Yes, Dahn?
Yeah, so he knows he knows ball. He grew up with football in his crib and all that kind of stuff. But he's doing good. This was their best outing, obviously, last week against Las Vegas. They haven't done a great job of generating turnovers. They got 4. In this game, and they held down the fort pretty good against these guys. I think this game was 20-15. They had four takeaways. Got a good secondary. They got some guys up front. This Hoyt. They got Verse, from Jared Verse from Florida State, the rookie edge player. They got another guy, Frisk, Brandon Fisk is his name. Keep an eye on him though. He might be out.
Yes.
Okay.
He might be out. I think he's going to be injured and miss this game.
All right, let's go to Minnesota's defense. Yeah. Obviously, B-Flow is a big topic of discussion because how great this defense has been all season.
It's going to be fascinating to see what McVay does against B-Flow in this defense. We talked earlier. We have a graph we'll show later on, but like when it comes to takeaways, sacks, quarterback pressure, because they're going to pressure you all day and trying to figure this stuff out with a young center. Communication issues between Stafford and a young center, and then a bunch of offensive linemen. I think they're down to their third left tackle. A bunch of guys have been in and out. I think the right guard's the only guy that's played every game to this point. So they're going to have a hard time trying to figure this stuff out because they're going to give you double A. They're going to give you overload stuff. They're going to give you a lot of 7-up, and then are they coming? Or are they not coming? Because then they'll run out there, play Tampa 2. They'll run out there, play three deep zone. Here's a strip sack last week against Detroit. Van Ginkel's got 5 sacks.
Couple tugs.
Pat Jones got 5 sacks. I mean, they got Grenard comes over from the Texans. Mm-hmm. He's got 5 sacks. You're going to see Grenard up top on this one. They do a phenomenal job. It's feast or famine though. They can give up explosive plays. Jahmyr Gibbs had a explosive run for a tutty last week. They had a long pass. If you can protect and pick this up, you can eat on offense.
Okay,
there's plays to be made.
Speaking of offense, let's go to the Minnesota offense. They brought somebody in this offseason who's a playmaker.
Yes, sir. Aaron Jones comes over from Green Bay. He does a great job. He's got great vision, bounces this one outside.
First play on offense right there.
First play on offense. And if you look at this Rams defense, they're 26 overall, 29th against the run.
Uh-oh.
So you're saying there's a little bit of a
there's a good chance that we're going to see. They're going to get a face full of this dude because Rams offense Vikings offense they got a hell of an offensive line. They've got this guy in the backfield. Sam Darnold's playing his ass off. He returns home to Southern California where he went to school. So he's going to have a bunch of family and friends in the stands.
And if he wants to throw one,
tickets. And then they got Justin Jefferson out there, and shit, he's a game wrecker. And they got, Jordan Addison along with him. Naylor is a guy that can beat your ass. Supposedly going to get Hawkinson back. Yeah, again, on paper, this looks like an easy one. I don't know why it's 2.5.
Let's go to the tail of the tape here. Let's go to the tail of the tape
Yeah.
after we just meet the game records here. And you alluded to a few of these things where the Vikings good amongst their comparables in the NFL. Rams bad against everybody else in the NFL in some of these stats. Very important ones, though, you're looking at. Like
Absolutely.
the points allowed. Beeflo's defense, 17.8. That's good for being sixth in the league. For the Rams defense, 25.7. That's big. That's a lot of points. Whoa. Giving up 25.5 at least. That's not a way to win games. No. Now, granted, a lot of rookies, though, right, on this particular Rams team that they're playing. Not everybody knows.
16 on their 53-man roster. So they're developing guys. They got good players, but they're inexperienced. They need time on task. So this will be interesting. Now Sam's turned the ball over. Darnold. I think he's got 5 fumbles and 5 interceptions.
You're talking about Sam turning the ball over. Let's talk about the Vikings defense turning people over. Takeaway second most in the NFL, Chuck. Obviously, that's a big deal.
Absolutely. Quarterback pressures, one in the sacks, third most. Takeaway second. 11 interceptions, which leads the NFL right now through 7 weeks. 3 defensive scores, number 1 in the league. Third down, they get off the field, but
ginky.
But again, I mean, they're going to have to try to figure this thing out at the line of scrimmage on a short week, missing some guys. They've got guys beat up. They've had guys in and out of the lineup on that offensive line for the Rams. I know they got to try. Yeah.
You can make a pick.
But it's
too obvious. 80% of the money is
what
on
gives you life is, it's McVay, big brain. He knows OC. OC knows him. So there's some familiarity there as far as the coaching staff goes. But trying to deal with this guy and that defense, you think about the chess pieces, that Minnesota has. They got vets, they got experience, they got Van Ginkel, Grenard, they got all these
Smith.
they got all these dudes.
Hitman.
Gilmore.
I don't know if Cashman's going to play. Supposedly, there's 2 linebackers in this game may be out. Reeder is a linebacker for the Rams, could be out. Cashman for the Vikings could be out. So those would be 2 big losses. But there's a lot of Harrison Smith. I mean, he's going to be on the line of scrimmage over here.
And then what?
Or he's going to be on the line of scrimmage over here.
And then what?
And he may come. And if you don't count for him, he may hit you in the back of the head like he hit Aaron.
He's covered
Or
third.
he's going to go
deep.
He's going to run to the deep
third.
half or the deep middle third. It's crazy.
He's awesome.
Cashman's
He's fun to watch.
Cashman, good call.
So he is
There's a lot of questionable. As we roll into the season and continue here, week 8 rolling in, going to be a lot of those cues questionable.
Yeah.
And then people playing, and we got to get to the bottom of it. So it sounds like you're agreeing with everybody.
I tried to talk myself, and they could do this, they could do that. They got this.
He tried to waffle.
I
was trying my best to waffle.
This guy's coming back. This guy, it just doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. So take Minnesota, lay the damn points, and be done with it.
That's a good pick.
All right.
Be done with it. Let's not overthink this.
Don't even think about it.
He said, I tried to waffle. His brain almost stopped just a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
a few
truly.
seconds ago. So I tried to figure out why this number is only 2.5 or 3. I think we're all wondering the same damn thing. Going in this past weekend, you go Vikings. Yep. And now the Rams. But I guess McVay on a short week. Remember, he had Baker Mayfield.
That's right.
He was able to get a win with that. So short week, does that benefit McVay? Well, then you think, well, does it not benefit Kevin O'Connell? Kevin O'Connell.
Pretty good.
1-1 on Thursday night. Who has been his quarterbacks? If you go through who he has had to do, and him and Sam Darnold are kind of seeing the field the same exact way. 80% of the public still betting on the Vikings?
Yep.
Okay. So 80% of the public is betting on the Vikings. It has been 7-2, 9-0, or 7-2 the last 3 weeks for whenever there's at least 65% of the public money on one side. So we have been winning. When everybody's been feeling one way, we have been winning. We need to know that. We can't get scared by the 80%. Chuck Pagano has been winning.
Yep.
He says Vikings, -2.5, -3, whatever it is, wherever you gamble. ESPN bet, I believe it's still -3 right now. So that means you can get +3 if you're the Rams fans. AJ, would you like +3 or +2.5, pal? Do you have the Vikings or the Rams?
So listening to Chuck, Chuck was trying to talk himself out of picking the Vikings, but I was leaning Vikings beforehand. Also, this schedule worked out beautifully. The Vikings come off their first loss. What do you get? A quick week, flush it, get back on the field. Let's go get a win and get back on the right track. And good teams, I think it's good when you have that. Like if you lose, let's get back on the field as quickly as possible. I think that's huge for the Vikings. I mean, honestly though, like Matt Stafford, I have a hard time counting Matt Stafford out of anything. I know how great he can be, but I think there's too much. Like the Vikings have too much, so I'm taking them at -3.
I would be taking the Minnesota Vikings as well.
Yeah.
Across the board. Way to go, boys.
Here you go, boys.
Here we go, boys.
Last 2 weeks.
Hell yeah.
It has worked.
Hey, and remember, we might be on the Vikings, but you should eat Pizza Hut.
That's right. That's exactly right.
No matter what.
All right, Chuck, you want to do a challenge for a giveaway, pal? What are you thinking?
Sure.
What do you want to do? You have a great tracksuit on.
Yes.
This should be good. You should be nice and warm. You got to be sweating through that.
Could do some time trials, have them run around.
Oh, maybe gas?
You
Yeah,
run
do
hot in
gasser.
here. I don't run hot in here.
No, yeah. Well, we want to warm you up. Maybe some gassers will put you on a stopwatch.
Some suicide sprints here.
You're going to have to run one
Looks
first.
sweet, Chuck.
So
I
we
love
know what
that.
time he does look sweet. He
Look
does
good.
look sweet. You
That's Amazon, man. I need to go on Amazon. Sorry for cutting you off. That looks so cozy, Chuck.
What size are you?
XL.
XL?
Oh,
Yeah.
What color you like?
Any color, Chuck. It doesn't matter to me.
This is black.
Okay.
Really?
They got
That
white,
is that
they got-
black? Are you sure? Okay.
Is that are you
That was charcoal.
kind
Is
of
there a
looks like
hint
a
of blue?
dark?
Is that a hint of
Does look
blue?
pretty comfy,
It's not
Coach.
dark blue. It's not dark blue. It's
Looks pretty comfy. I'm an XL. I like black.
yeah, but the thing about Amazon,
Get
and
your sizes in.
okay, we
Got
certainly
Christmas
will.
right around the corner.
Okay, all
Yes.
Floor's tracksuits would be a great gift from our favorite
Can I get
kind.
the Italian flag?
Imagine if we got logo put.
Oh, the Thunderdome
Can't
logo
imagine
with
it,
the
yeah.
Italian
Oh, mine to say Connie.
Get our
Constance.
initials like RC. Get the.
Constance Pagano.
The big road.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. Nonetheless, that's Amazon football, though.
Oh, yeah.
That one fits. I do worry if you were to order in abundance. For every 10, I think probably 2 to 3 don't fit. You know, I assume AJ's body type might be a tough one to match up with for the velour tracksuit off of Amazon. I have a similar issue. I think some will hit home runs. Like, you look great right now.
Great.
This is the best.
Eyes. You got.
Yeah.
They're pretty comfy.
You look amazing.
There's room.
That's what I'm saying. Now you look amazing.
Usually, I mean, you to your point, you can never order anything online like that and get it shipped to the house and say, "Fuck, put
Not
it on."
look
and
this good.
God, this no,
Oh
not,
my God.
not that. Like it fit. Like goddamn, that
great.
fits.
Yeah, nothing's tailored, obviously, but there's some things that are just way off from what they say they're.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, this would fit usually 36, 38 pants, and then it gets there and it actually fits 52.
Right.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
I can't put this bag on. What are we doing? You know, sport coats. I try to order suits off Amazon. That's about 25% success rate.
Sure.
But that's what you're getting.
Those are tough, yeah.
That's what you're getting.
You know,
That's
going in though. Hey, if this is a huge bonus if this works.
It's coming here in 24 hours. I got a suit tomorrow. I need one. That's great. Need to order 4 though. If you're already in that basket,
Just in case.
and you're ordering $24.99 suits, just know that you're gonna have to spend $100
Exactly.
and get 4 of those things if you want one of them to actually fit.
Still a fair price.
Not bad.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Not bad. And also, you might be able to mix and match.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I might be able to do some stuff. Bad. Everything lost. Everything stopped.
Yeah, we know you're
All right. Well, out. Lock in.
Maybe your ears just gave out.
Yeah.
So he just can't.
Time
hit
to
me.
cut them off.
Yeah, I think the battery's
You got to throw.
I got nothing.
Battery's dead. Yeah, battery's dead.
I mean,
It's all right. It's okay.
His-
Hey, don't need it. Let's lock in, actually. Clear the mechanisms.
His hearing aids were going ballistic.
Good
during
toss,
the
Z.
break.
Good toss, seat.
Toss seat.
Yeah, his hearing aids were going ballistic.
They were going nuts over there.
So I guess it's because they're dealing with people who can't hear anything to begin with.
Sure.
Those hearing aids, when they're not in people's heads, very chatty.
Oh, you know what it is?
They're very chatty.
So they can find them.
So they make a sound?
Yeah. Like
I
a
was thinking that was
high-pitched.
like big hearing aid trying to like, hey, let's drive this. Let's make sure this other fucker goes deaf, so he has to get hearing aids.
Oh,
as well.
so everybody has to get one.
Exactly.
It's like they say with the chapstick, where it actually, potentially sets you up to have to use chapstick going forward. They do that. We have video of DeAndre Hopkins at practice with the Chiefs wearing number 8. Ooh.
Good.
Ooh. Practicing. See? That was a big conversation piece.
It was.
He's going hard in practice. All of a sudden, you found a new purpose. Whenever you join the Kansas City Chiefs, we're on a Super Bowl run trying to do something that has never been done in the history of the NFL. Win 3 straight Lombardis. What a nice, reinvigorating feeling this has to be for D-Hop getting in there with Patrick Mahomes.
The one thing about him, he draws more defensive pass interference and defensive holding calls He's like a master. We would go in, and I would talk to the officials before the game, and I said, you got to watch D-Hop. Because what he does is, if he doesn't get by you, he throws his hands up and he puts them around the back of the D-back, right, as they're running down the field, and then he starts flailing around, and these flags come out, and it's DPID, and I made the clips. You know how we give the clips to those guys before the game?
Yep.
Send them in before. Keep an eye on this, because he is unbelievable at it. So he's going to get him a couple.
He's going to get him a few first downs.
Few first downs. Because he's got unbelievable hands. The catch radius.
People are going to love that.
The hand eye.
Yeah, people are going to be so mad at the Chiefs get those types of calls, especially if one happens late. But that's literally DeAndre Hopkins, veteran football. Catch radius huge. Even does the old OG tricks, it sounds like Chuck says. One addition for the Chiefs. I'm happy for them, literally. The Chiefs just, the teams that know that they can go and make plays and try to win and do everything, exhaust all resources to win. It's like the Chiefs are doing that. And we're still very early into Patrick Mahomes' career here.
Yeah.
Very early in this thing. And they've captured lightning in a bottle, and they continue to add energy somehow. Good for them. I hope they end up going on another run and win 3 straight, even though people will be sick of it.
Yeah.
You see Patrick Mahomes runs like an ostrich. That's what Travis Kelce said.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty accurate descriptor.
Not bad.
Perfect, actually.
Not bad. If anyone can say it, it's Travis.
You see him run the most.
Exactly.
Ostrich. Have you ever seen an ostrich run?
Fast.
I'm not sure I have.
They're moving.
So, no arms, so that's certainly a balancer whenever you're running. Yep. So they got to use their body. So there's a lot of
that.
There's a lot of little wiggle in there. It was an accurate description. I mean, it really was. He's a good runner.
He is a good runner.
He's not Kyler.
No.
He's not Lamar. Not Josh Allen.
Nope.
He's his own style. Savvy runner.
Yeah, but first down.
And also, remember last year, he did the arm plant, one-hand plank, touchdown reach thing. He's a competitor.
Had a truck stick in this game.
Yeah, he had a fake throw, too. That's like straight out of 1999, old school guy. Dude. Yeah, and then he did run over Mustafa, who might be made of concrete. Now, I think Mustafa kind of gave up on him. Maybe he was caught back because, Mahomes shouldered him through earth on this particular touchdown. Mustafa goes 100 miles an hour every play. Every single play. I think it was first quarter. He was a part of like 7 Ram trucks. Literally off the jump. And then for Patrick to run him over, old school competitor. At some point, the arm's going to start matching up with everything else they got going on over there. I think D-Hop helps. Speaking of an arm, Chuck, why don't you throw a football into a basketball hoop and we can give 30 people $500 on this Week 8 NFL kickoff Thursday, October 24th.
Hell yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
On Mahomes? Did anybody, like the defenders are so scared to hit these guys now, especially a quarterback on the sideline and a guy running straight ahead. Do you think this is going to backfire on Mahomes running over Mustafa and then this on the sideline because guys are waiting for a guy just to run out of bounds and they're not doing it anymore?
Travis actually talked about this. If you run it from the start, I don't know if you can see it from this side, but the reason that guy went out of bounds here, Kareem Hunt shoves him out of bounds. That's why he kept going. Obviously 90 a little loaf, but Kareem Hunt right there, boom, pushes him out. And that's how he kind of got by. So I don't know if...
I think what he's talking about, that's a very valid point. Good block. Number 90, I think, is what you were talking about, who slows down. He's like kind of a tackle, appears, as you're bringing it up. If we can show the clip. Number 90 kind of holds a little bit whenever he thinks he's going out of bounds. Now, he's chasing the ball. He's a big boy. We appreciate the hell out of that. But he thought he was going out of bounds right there.
Yeah, they're going to keep. They're going to.
He's tired, boss. Them hands are on the hip for 90.
Yeah,
he's tired, boss.
Go out of bounds. Go out of bounds. Go to bounds. Go to bounds. Go to bounds. And then he stays back in there.
But guys are so scared, with the fines that are coming out and hitting these quarterbacks and what it's going to cost them, what's going to cost your team and stuff.
Kenny Pickett, right? That's the Kenny Pickett rule.
Yeah, no fake slide.
From college, he did the fake slide.
Yep. But then there are teams like the Texans. Remember, it was week 1 or week 2. Where, I think they drilled either Mahomes or somebody. I forget who it was specifically. Caleb. Yeah, there are some teams who are like, no, if you're in bounds, you're going to get fucking hit.
Yeah. So D'Amico came out and said that.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe it is kind of like a team-by-team thing, but, fucking hit the guy if he's in bounds. What are we talking about?
No, if you're not in the white, there's some shots in the sideline that look like, and everybody asks for the flags, but they're not. If they're not in the white, you're not going to get a foul.
That should be replaced too.
Happened with Rodgers against the Patriots, where there was a couple scuffles on the sideline where it was very, very close.
Oh yeah, and then he said, no.
Yeah.
Think if it's 3rd and 11 though, and you are coming down, you don't want to be the guy to give him a first down. Like, I mean,
third down.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Extended drive. Why? Because you had to get a hit, huh? That's what in the meeting.
Like, no, all of a sudden he lowers his shoulder and runs me over. Like,
No,
okay,
that's
what
a
do you
great
do?
point. There's going to be a gotta-have-it situation at the goal line, at the pylon, at the first down marker.
When in doubt, lower your head and go.
That's the all-time leading tackler for
Right?
the Green Bay.
That's right.
Well,
Hell
I guess
yeah,
no,
Hawk.
I'm not saying certain defenses. I guarantee you, I would imagine. I would think D coordinators say, "Hey, we'll live with a couple of these, personal fouls. If we hit these guys, we're going to send a message, though. You can't be dancing around the sidelines playing with that whole rule when you play our team."
I liked whenever you gave the guarantee, probable, I hope almost. You're like,
I don't like the guarantee. Is no, yeah. It's like saying something's 100%. Like nothing's just like that. Yeah.
Agree. That's why I always say seemingly or soften it out there because there's a chance that it's not. But I thought the way you were going there is I hope that modern defense coordinators are still. That's what it sounded like. I guarantee. I hope there is still. I hope there's still
going through it in the moment. I was going through it in the moment. Yeah, you're right.
I hope
You're
there's
right.
DCs that still are like, hey, we
bring the boom.
We still
If
bring.
you do it, just do it on first or second down. Don't do it on third down.
Still bringing
Still bringing it. Still
Man, those kids,
bringing it.
adults too.
Still bringing
Look at Chuck. Chuck, those shoes match.
How long you guys been doing that at Italian gatherings? The boom.
Good question.
Since they killed Christ, probably.
What the?
Whoa.
Where the shit does this
Jeez.
stuff come from? And I heard us talking
Came up yesterday.
the Italians and
What?
Jesus and.
Well, you guys did. I mean, that is something that happened. That is something that happened.
Don't deny it.
If you guys would just read a book.
We did.
Which one?
The book.
Any book.
Actually,
Well, it's the end of that one book. The one that's everywhere.
the big book.
The highest selling, the most read book of all time. You know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
The Gary V's book?
But at the time, they were Romans. They weren't.
It's second.
5-time.
Second. Hearing stuff about how those were.
Right there.
What?
What do you mean?
No. Different genre, different business.
No, I know.
Yeah, you're right. Tom Diggs sold a few thousand copies of a book.
Yeah, why is he on the list?
It's a good book.
Well, I think we would have had to buy a few more.
Sure.
We would have had to buy a few more.
All right.
Which we did think about doing.
I was gonna say.
We were getting down to the final hours.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
It's like, do we just buy? Do we just buy like?
Let's buy 50,000 of these.
And we did not though.
No.
It did not matter enough to any of us to do that. But you could see how people in other businesses
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
would potentially think about doing that. All right, let's get to a giveaway, shall we?
Here you go, Chuck.
Chuck Pagano, ladies and gentlemen, the Paisan hero. All you have to do is put that football into that hoop right over there in that sweet velour suit. Look at the rollie. That thing don't tick-tock. If that ball goes swish-swash into that hoop right over there, 30 people, you're guiding.
Oh.
That's a good throw. You kind of guided it, though. You didn't let it spin.
Just a little more.
You got to have fun. Let it go.
Yeah.
Fire that motherfucker. Ty, what do you think you would say to Chuck if he had to make one throw for the rest of his life?
I'd probably say think of Bear. You know, what better way to give him just a beautiful birthday present than sinking this fucker right here and say, hey,
It's for Bear.
Papa
For
still
Bear.
got it.
Bear. Happy 4th birthday, Bear. Oh, a brick for Bear. A brick for Bear.
Back rim.
Well, it's going to have to be the 5th birthday that's better.
Yep.
That's it. Tom Diggs, anything you say to Paisan, Chuck Pagano, before he does this?
Yeah, Chuck. There's been a lot of slander about us last couple of days. You remind them about all the great Italian American athletes that have come before us, and you fucking sink that thing.
That's right. Happy Columbus Day.
Yeah. Joe DiMaggio.
Pirlo.
Marino.
Phil Rizzuto.
You did that for fucking Marino?
Absolutely.
What about Rizzuto?
Yeah, jeez.
Rizzuto got in there. AJ Hawk's over there in Ohio. He's got a motivational word or two for you.
Well, I don't know about that, Chuck, but I know Gumpy's been giving you a hard time. Ask him what his favorite prime minister dressed up as for Halloween a couple years back.
All right. I don't know if that's motivational or not, but hopefully there's a
Gump?
chance. No, we don't need to talk about it.
We don't.
good.
Yeah, we don't even know. There's been
Just let that thing fucking fly, Chuck.
Yeah, just let it
Let
fly.
it rip.
Chuck Pagano, 30 people, $500 if he puts his football into that hoop right over there.
You're getting worse here, Coach.
It is getting worse.
Well, that's because the motivation, the guy just refuses to give you motivation.
I know.
He always wants to make it a song and dance, some political song and dance.
He does.
That's all he wants to do.
I know.
Ridiculous.
He wants to talk about face pain.
You. Talking about you, dickhead.
Me, everybody gives him motivation, not just me.
No, but whenever you're asked to give him motivation, you refuse to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because it's got to be organic. If I'm feeling it, Chuck knows I'm always positive.
We are trying to feel it. 30 people trying to win $500, dude.
Do it, Chuck.
Oh, shit.
Connor has a motivational message.
Yeah,
I do.
here we go.
I mean, look down at yourself right now. Go ahead, look down.
Look at yourself.
Look how fucking cool you look right now.
So cool.
If you don't make it, you bring shame to not only your family and Bear, but that fucking sweet jumpsuit.
That's right. That jumpsuit deserves a make.
Don't bring
And
shame to your
Constance.
family and Italy.
Oh. 2 more inches and that's Dahn.
Shame to Italy. Lots of shame.
I don't like shame to Italy. I like Italy. Italy has produced a lot of great things.
Yeah.
What produced 30 winner?
I thought that was.
Feels like at this point you've given up.
Chuck, have you given up?
Are you a card?
NFL ball. This is the Duke.
Quitter?
Yeah.
Gumpy has a
What are you,
motivational
yellow?
message for you, Chuck Pagano.
Yeah, Chuck, I know a few years back, A.J. Hawk and the Packers gave up on the bikini girls. But don't give up on trying to get this ball in the hoop.
That's very nice. Just like Fireman Ed potentially happening right now on the Jets.
Don't give up on it.
We don't like it, but it's reality. Don't give up on this shot. 30 people, $500.
Oh,
All right.
what
no.
the fuck was that,
Coach.
dude?
All right.
Coach, come on now.
Are you trying still?
Come
Good
on.
distance.
He
Good
gave up,
distance,
didn't he? Like Fireman Ed? They're giving up on Fireman Ed?
Throw it left-handed.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
He's saying throw with the other hand.
Well, he's so old, that ball's so much heavier.
Oh,
Pick that thing
jeez.
up, it's like throwing a medicine ball.
Evan Fox.
Fired at Connor.
Evan Fox actually has a motivational message for you.
Coach, it's simple. The quicker you make this shot, the quicker we all get Pizza Hut.
Holy
Put it in the
shit.
hole.
Make it.
True.
I don't know if that's true, but I can feel it in my soul that it's accurate.
My plum.
Yeah, because every moment that passes, we are getting closer to Pizza Hut.
Oh, baby.
Which is different hope.
I think Foxy had that thing ready.
Boo.
A little bit worried about the universe ball not falling.
Yeah.
Vikings.
In a bit of a drought.
Not gobbling, no.
No.
That's all that matters. Before we get out of here, we would be remiss if we didn't celebrate a massive day. It is October 24th, 2024. It is Bear Pagano's 4th birthday. It is also Dirty's birthday.
Dirty!
Happy birthday, Dirty! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Dirty! What is going on?
Get in the camera shot.
Happy birthday, Dirty, to you! Happy birthday, Dirty!
Happy birthday, Dirty.
Make a wait.
And his team is playing tonight?
Yeah, I don't love that.
That's good. That's good vibes for Dirty and the Rams, maybe. Dirty, you like the Rams tonight or no? You have a sense of reality here?
Vikings -3.
Okay.
I'm trying to win, you know what I mean?
Okay, but for the birthday, let's make some money.
Smart.
Yep.
How old are you, Dirty?
33.
Happy birthday.
Wow, Christ here.
JC. Yeah.
33.
You do great things, brother. We appreciate the hell out of you. Happy birthday, Michael Gertie.
Hell yeah, Gertie.
Birthday.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. Let's enjoy tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. Going to be a good program tomorrow.
Yeah.
Got some surprise guests.
What? Uh-oh.
Got some surprise guests. Let me see if an announcement's been made yet.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Have they announced the guest picker yet?
I don't know. I have no idea. Let me check.
I'm so glad you get to stay in
Putting Green
state.
or what?
That's so cool.
I am going to go check out that pot and grain down there, Signetti's. It is so cool we get to stay in state and go to Indiana. I also think, like, and I don't like to do this because it's pretty negative, but if they're able to keep Signetti there, I think there's a chance this, I don't want to say it becomes very regular, but yeah.
It lasts.
I think it's going to be, especially with how the Big Ten is right now and where the Big Ten is and what he has done with his teams, it's like he's able to do it. He wins.
Yeah. Google me.
Should be fun. It's going to be a great weekend. Tomorrow we launch everybody. They have not announced it yet.
Oh, okay.
They have not announced it. I don't know what time we're leaving for. What time?
Surprise.
What time you
Is
think
it because no one's ever went there?
They got a backup in the chamber.
No, we got it's a good guest picker.
Great.
Like, I think guest picker will be on the program tomorrow.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there's a good tease.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When guest picker is announced, know the guest picker is going to crush it on Saturday. Absolutely crush it. These guest pickers have been phenomenal. Thank you to all of them for taking time out of their life, traveling back to their college town, enjoying a day like it was back in the day, and celebrate their football. But whenever that happens, just know they're on program tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we're going to have good questions.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of good questions.
So many.
And then Signetti will be on program tomorrow.
Oh, no big deal.
Light it up.
I can't wait to talk to Signetti.
Oh, my God.
Are you broadcasting from his house?
So, didn't do the house. Didn't want to, I didn't know how, because he didn't invite me over there for the hot tub.
He did hot tub, pool, full court basketball court, putting green. You name it.
Is there a movie theater in there?
In a basement, yeah. Pool table. Full wet bar.
We might be staying at Sig's house. I'm not 100% sure, but
I hope.
I can't wait to see him. He cracks me up, man. He's a yinzer. Like 1,000,000% a yinzer. 62 years old doing this at Indiana. Obviously D2 coach and had an assistant coaching career that people would call Hall of Fame and everything like that. Now he's getting a chance to run his own shit at Indiana. It's like, he's awesome. Can't wait to talk to him. We'll be a blast. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. We'll be back, Mignogna. Chuck, great work today, bub.
Chuck.
Throw's terrible, but everything else really good.
Yeah, baby.
Everything else really good. All right, we're back tomorrow. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life, like our friends at Dude Wipes. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.